Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to kind of like the last official episode of Storm King's Thunder. Right here at Proficiency Bonus. I know everybody's sad. Everybody's sad. My name is Michael, your most humble and merciful Dungeon Master for the evening. Tonight, we're going to do something a little special for all of you. But first, I want to give out a quick shout outs to our friends and sponsors and partners at Twitch, Streamlabs, Team MZ, Many Sided Dice, and our friends over at Little Dragon Corp for all their ongoing support. If you type in ! Little Dragon in the chat,
already did it,
just like Mysticwater did. she beat Matt. The Blitz Greybeard does not get the point tonight. I'm gonna have to
revenge for me beating her on Wednesday.
Since we've partnered with Little Dragon Corp, I want to go back and watch those episodes and see what the tally is like so far.
Oh yeah.
We need like you know how a Critical Role has crit roll stats. We need somebody to do that for us. But anyway, you can click on that storefront quick link to get a link to their storefront where you can buy some really cool dice and other RPG gear. And if you use the coupon code PROBONUS during checkout, you'll get 10% off your order just for hanging out with us. So thank you guys so much. Tell them we sent you, and go ahead and get yourself some new dice. Tonight's going to be different. We are going to be having kind of like a little fireside chat, a little Q&A, if you will, of Storm King's Thunder. If you are a potential dungeon master or a new dungeon master and you're thinking about picking up this module to run it, this episode is probably going to be for you, because we're going to ask a lot of questions about the module. We're going to answer a lot of questions. We might not be able to answer all of them because they might still pertain to the story that we're going to have going forward on Friday nights. But we're going to try to answer as much as we can from what the players have. And also, I'm going to ask the players some questions. So, Dungeon Masters, this is probably more for you than it's going to be for players of Storm King's Thunder. If you're thinking about playing the game, you may not want to stay too long. I am going to ask one question to all my players to start off the night here at the beginning to get them involved right away. And this question will probably be more geared to a player, so on the player side of things. So if you're going to play Storm King's Thunder, you can stick around for about 5 or 10 minutes. Then it might be a good idea to, I hate to say to take, just kind of sneak out, but I mean, I don't want to spoil anything for you because there's going to be a lot of spoilers tonight. And I don't want it to hurt your game and your fun. So, despite how much we would love to have you here hanging out with us tonight, I'd rather you enjoy your time at your table with your dungeon master. To me, that's more important. So, and then after the campaign's over, you can come back and watch this episode on YouTube to see what was different from your go through Storm King's Thunder in comparison to these wild guys. So, cool. So, without further ado, we're gonna dive in. Players, I've got a question for you.
Oh no.
Here's my question. Let's say, I don't know, let's just say you're maybe a new player to Dungeons and Dragons. You're getting into it, you're excited, you just picked up the player's handbook, you're all excited. You got your D&D Beyond subscription. You're set to go. You're typing in. You're building your first character. You're super excited. You have a dungeon master who invites you to play Storm King's Thunder. You also have another dungeon master that invites you to play some other module, whether it be Curse of Strahd or something else, or maybe even a homebrew. Would you recommend this module? Or also the second part of that question is maybe if you want to include maybe some high points or some good things that you liked about the module, or maybe some things that maybe you didn't like so much about the module. I mean, let's start with recommendations first. So if the players want to, if they need to skip out early on the video, they can skip out before we give away too much of the juicy details. Does anybody want to give it a go first?
I mean, I can.
Okay.
I would 100% recommend this module, but I don't know if that's a bias or nostalgic factor because I guess this is technically my first module that I joined.
Mm-hmm.
Before I played, before Storm King's Thunder, the only other game I had played was a homebrew. So I had no expectations of what to expect from a module. But after playing it for as long as we have 100 episodes, I don't think anyone other, like, I've played Waterdeep and I'm still loving Storm King's Thunder more.
Okay.
Just in terms of, like, plot development.
Okay. Okay. Anybody else want to chime in?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like classic, you get to do the classic romp around Forgotten Realms. It's like D&D
That's
San
true.
Andreas,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, there you go.
It's the true Faerun experience, I feel.
the
Storm King's
Faerun
Thunder is the true
sandbox, you
Faerun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
running up to a wagon cart, just dumping people out of it and jumping in and taking
Press
off. with their
triangle, yeah.
horses.
Punch them in the face. Yeah.
Wasn't that how we got into
I say saying this is the Grand Theft Auto of
Yeah,
modules,
that's it,
basically.
that's it. Wrecking that cart and then
It
taking
really
off and
is.
grabbing another one. Yeah.
That's more like Red Dead Redemption, though, you know, with the horses.
Yeah,
To be
true.
fair.
Mm-mm. Yeah.
This was my first D&D game that I like played ever, and it was my first module. So
Cool.
like this was yeah, it was really fun. I definitely recommend it because I feel like there's such a diversity of paths that you can take and stuff, and it's just like I think it's great. I think it's fun.
Zoss, and I want to say, you've been an excellent player for like
Oh,
the
really?
first time like
Yes.
being in a game and
Thank
playing.
you.
I mean, outstanding.
Thanks.
Huzzah.
Someone
yeah.
go back to episode
You guys are
1
awesome.
and then
Uh,
like the last 2 episodes and see just how much
if you,
everyone has changed.
if you
Never
yeah,
mind just Zoss.
Yeah.
if you watch the progression of all of you like just playing at one, like from episode 1, you can see just this
Yeah,
massive
For
growth.
sure. I still
And-
remember, like, for Zoss, it took her, like, many episodes to learn how to cleric, but it was so fun to watch her learn how to cleric.
I don't know how to play.
That's true.
Zoss can teach me.
Like
I still don't know how to cleric sometimes.
I know you still struggle sometimes
I
with
don't know.
spells as we get, like, in higher levels,
I
but
don't know how to
honestly,
druid,
watching
it's
you learn how
okay.
to cleric,
well,
yeah, it's...
I think the moment that I realized that Zoss had it was the Cloud Giant Children.
Oh, yeah.
I was
Yeah.
like, that was like the pivotal moment.
That was clutch.
I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
Yes.
she's been clutch several times.
Yes.
That was her
Inflict wounds
graduation
against the
ceremony.
aboleth
Yeah.
or whatever.
But that was like she got her diploma on that day. Like
Yes,
Yeah.
that
yes.
was the
She
I'm
graduated with
blushing.
honors on that cleric level. Holy crap.
spoilers. But what she did in the final battle too surprised the crap out of me.
Yeah.
And that's
Broke the game.
that's a good thing. That's a good thing. I was proud.
Thank you.
But
Well, thank you.
It's awesome. What's
But I think,
also incredible about that is I've been in a lot of campaigns. Probably the highest percentage of them like falter after like a couple sessions or even like a handful of sessions. This is your first game, your first campaign, and you ran through the entire module.
Entire thing.
Yeah.
Who does that? Yeah.
Who does that?
I just love you guys so much. Like, it wasn't just about playing Dungeons and Dragons. It was about getting together and hanging out with my friends and being really
Yeah.
interested in where the story goes and stuff. And, like, I just think you guys are all very talented people. And you guys just are awesome. And anyway, Storm King's Thunder is great. And everyone should play it at least once because, yeah. I feel like, it's
we
one
were
of those
also a
things
little
we
bit spoiled by Michael's
Yeah.
Yeah, not everybody
Yeah,
has
definitely.
of this
tier DM,
specific
you know?
module.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also,
Yeah.
I'll toss it from a more mechanical standpoint, is while the campaign and the story are great, and a lot of it is based on who you're playing with, your dungeon master and your
Yeah.
other players,
True.
you're only going to get as much out of it as people put into it, but you also want to set a right
Mhm.
expectation for you. Like, Fendelver's a great little adventure,
Mhm.
but it's that smaller thing that's meant for levels 1 to 5.
Right.
Storm King's
Yeah.
Thunder has that longer story. Like you see with us, it took us 100 episodes between the parts that Michael wove in that may still be going on in
It
the
shouldn't have
module
taken us
itself.
100 episodes to
No,
finish
it shouldn't.
We got way off track. We got so off track.
Yeah, disclaimer, if you're worried that
Story.
Storm King's Thunder is a long module, it's not. I promise it's not. Oh, it shouldn't be this long.
It's-
We just did a lot.
We will dive into that a little tonight. We will talk about that.
but that's
6
the
months that we
benefit
were
to the
level 9 or
sandbox.
whatever.
Yeah.
I will
Yeah.
say this too, that from running Curse the Strahd, playing Pandover, and being in Cholt with DM Matthew, they are kind of closed world because Cholt is its own country that you go and explore in, and the temple's its own thing. Barovia is very small, and this was just like an epic place to go all around in. Like, the scale of the story is just so much bigger, you know, based on the world that we were given to play around in. So
Which
just
opens up, and that's also
yeah,
part of what caused our problem in wandering.
exactly.
Yeah.
It's like Barovia is nice. You can
Closer.
only wander so far before it's like,
Exactly.
well, I've been literally everywhere east of this point. Now
Yeah.
I have to go this way.
Right. Or else you'll die in the mist. Who knows?
Yeah.
I still don't know where the Weevil is.
We'll get to that tonight too.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
But so it seems like it's pretty overwhelming for everybody. And if you're watching this on YouTube or watching it live with us, it seems overwhelming that everybody recommends this module. So if you are a player, don't be afraid to dive in. What Matthew was saying, what you guys were all saying, I think, there's some, what you put into it also is what you're going to get out of it. If you have players that are really into that yes and mindset where they help to move the story forward, or they address certain aspects and then take it to the next level. If you have a dungeon master that's, balancing all these characters and still formulating a way to keep the story moving, it'll be great. Your experience will be great. And I think a lot of that, some of that is like, it probably doesn't even matter what module you run. If you find a really solid group that you enjoy playing together and you end up it's just like, hey, I'm going to go Friday night and I'm going to hang out with my friends. It makes your experience great. So,
But this one has giants.
But honestly, like, also
this one has giants.
from a DM standpoint, I've just started DMing, so I'm not really a DM. But from a DM
Yes, you are.
standpoint, if there was going to be a module that, like, a proper module that I'd run, it would be this one,
Yeah.
hands down.
We'll talk a little bit about like what Sarah was saying there. Just a moment. This would be a great time if you're wanting to play it. There's going to be spoilers from this point on, so just be warned.
Sorry.
You don't have to go. I'm not going to force you to
Okay,
go.
stay.
I'm not going to give you the boot. But if you want to stay, you can
Slash
stay.
kick.
But there are Hadouken! No, you guys are good. As far as what Sarah was saying, like Tomb of Annihilation, you are on a continent, and you got a lot of options, but you're just in that jungle,
In a bubble.
You're in that
On
jungle.
a timer.
Barovia, you're kind of trapped there,
And those modules are a little bit more. They're a little bit more gritty than Storm King's Thunder, I feel.
They are. I think Storm King's Thunder is, out of a lot of the modules, it's the closest to like the traditional high fantasy.
Classic.
setting
Yes.
than
I agree.
most of the others.
Yeah.
You've got your Out of the Abyss, which
Is great too.
it is great. I have my critique on it is I think it depending on who your group is and who your DM is, it can be a little railroady.
That's true.
That's my critique on it, because there is kind of a systematic thing in place for that, but
There was
I'm
no
playing it.
railroad in
No
here.
No spoilers for Out of the Abyss. I'm still playing that.
no spoilers. No, I've never played it. I just read the book, so
Okay.
I thought about running it at some point, but I haven't. But yeah, like this one is pretty open. You are in the north. You are in Faerun, and you can pretty much go anywhere you want to go. And when you guys got the airship, there was nothing stopping you from circumnavigating
Except
the globe.
ourselves.
You know, it's,
Yeah.
Except
Let's see how
he's
far
holding
it
it,
goes.
yeah.
Thank God we didn't. That would have. Oh my God, we'd still be on episode 150, and we wouldn't even be here.
Yeah.
You know, I think there's something going on in the jungles of Chult. Let's go take a swing
Yeah,
down there.
yeah.
See what
That's it.
Let's just switch modules real quick.
Let's just start. Let's start every single book.
We had some
Every
close
single
calls
book.
there. We almost went
order,
into the
yeah.
Underdark, right, or Undermountain?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was close. We could have went into the
Yeah.
Undermountain. That was the potential.
So, I was gonna talk to
In
you
this
guys.
module?
When we ended up in Waterdeep and nearly threw Lachlan down the yawning portal.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
yeah, we almost went into several different adventures. A little bit of
Everyone
just
froze. Hang on.
yeah, your cam gave out on us, Kristy, for some reason in Roll20.
Everyone froze on my end, so I'm just refreshing.
okay,
Don't
gotcha.
mind me.
Um,
Sorry.
one thing I did want to point out is I am on they have a Facebook group for Storm King's Thunder Dungeon Masters. There's like a ton of people in it,
Oh.
and they just share different things.
Shit.
And so if you're ever running a module and you need some assistance or help from a potential other dungeon master, go on Facebook and search
Yes.
that module. There's like a bunch of
Strahd
Facebook
has
groups.
one.
So
Yeah.
So does Tomb.
That's so
Yep.
cool.
Yep.
and people
I got a lot of help.
and I think the three biggest things about this module that came up as negatives that I could discover, I like it. I like the module, but there are some holes. And number one, a lot of people don't like the first chapter of the book, the Nightstone stuff. There's a lot of people that don't like that.
Kella and Zulkin?
Yep, they don't like it. Because
They are
No
iconic. They're iconic.
No kidding.
iconic. They're
We
iconic.
also don't like them. No kidding.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
true.
nobody likes Gum Gum either.
Oh, I've been
Hey.
People don't like Gum Gum.
That's Nightstone.
Hark.
Yep, that's that, all that. Basically, yeah, Hark. That whole. Basically,
Why do they say?
I think the negative connotation on that is a lot of people don't feel like it has anything to do with the ultimate part of the adventure. The Nightstone that disappeared.
Yeah, what was
That
that?
was taken. It's up to the DM's discretion what it is. It doesn't tell you. It just tells you that the giants want it and they're studying it. So it's really up to the dungeon master what the Nightstone really is. It doesn't lock you into any certain thing.
So I'm just gonna stop you right there and say, is that something we can ask about, or is that something that?
I don't know.
Is that like a? Is that a
no.
kindred list thing? later?
It could be.
That's what.
One,
going.
some
okay.
DMs are taking the
It's Soul
Nightstone
Stone.
and they're putting it on that
Nightstone.
cloud castle when you go see Countess
Okay.
Sensorai. And they're putting it on there so that the players discover it later in the past. So there's like a connection between Nightstone and the giants that are wrecking the north. So it's just to give it some, continuity and link it to the adventure a little bit better. I understand why it's there, because you start at level 1 and you're not going to fight a giant at level 1. Even
Says you.
even a hill giant is probably gonna
Yeah.
one hit from a hill giant club on a level 1 character is gonna kill you outright.
That's
Yep.
You only have
Golf
like
tape.
9 hit points at level 1, like
Yeah.
average.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I understand why it's there. It's more of a mechanical thing, I think. And most of the times is given it and trying to link some story elements. The cloud giants attacked and yada yada yada. But yeah, a lot of people don't like that. The second thing that a lot of people don't like is there's a huge plot hole in it, and I guess it's it has to do with the Kraken Society, and the whole like Sarissa at the end giving you that token, that chip. Because technically in the module, you guys wouldn't realize this because I did some things. Technically, you guys
Of course.
Technically, you guys wouldn't have had that other chip at that point in time. So there's not really much of a connection between the Grand Dame, the Kraken Society, and the end of the adventure.
Oh.
Oh.
Now here
Like,
is go ahead, MG. What was
No,
you?
you.
No. You go ahead. I want to know what you were gonna say because it might.
we shouldn't have gone to the boat until the end of the game.
According to the book, no.
Oh.
It was like early on. I had just learned like.
Yeah, did we break the game
was still
early
here.
on?
JJ was still here because remember?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was betting
Yeah,
houses,
he went
betting
in.
houses and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ashland was
yeah.
crushing people.
There
Boulder's
is now.
Gate.
I think this is on. It's either on the DM's Guild or what's the other one? Drive Through RPG. It doesn't have the
Okay.
author's name on this, but there is an 18-page document called Kraken's Gamble that you can download for free. I believe it's free. And it is an 18-page mini quest adventure that goes into Storm King's Thunder. And it is
Oh.
focused around the Grand Dame. And it lets you go onto the boat. It has rules for gambling. And this is where you guys discover
did.
Mr. Arton Rosolio, who was infected.
Risotto!
This is where he came from, and here.
Raviolio, yeah.
And then you guys had to go.
Raviolio!
And then,
Good old ricotta.
and Mr. Aboleth, that Diana surprised me with her inflict
Usith?
wounds. Usith.
Yes.
He came from this.
Oh, okay.
Real quick,
Oh, is that the
Michael,
one I
can
knew?
pull this up just so we can kick it out to them?
Yeah.
It's from Eventer Games on Dungeon Masters Guild.
Mm-hmm.
The PDF is $2.99.
$2.99. So I mean,
So,
$2.99.
As a player from this, I will say definitely go
Worth
check it out
it.
if you're running this
Yeah.
module.
Get
because
it.
This was just
It was
Yeah.
so
It was fun.
good.
It was fun.
I
It,
love that.
I assumed that was part of the
I
book.
love
Like,
that
it was
mini
so
art.
well, you know.
it was
Was
written.
Smolfin's
Yeah,
girlfriend?
I thought that was
from
totally
there?
part of the
Yeah,
module.
this Lady Italia came from here.
Oh, okay.
Now, of
Oh.
course,
Wow, I thought
I
it was
was
totally
nothing
part of the
but honorable
module.
with her. I just want to toss that out there.
Mrs. Molfin will.
what's great about this? Oh, so you guys remember Scimitar Sally from the Hand of Yartar?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was
yeah.
in here. She came from
Okay.
here.
Oh, this is like the companion
But-
book.
This
Whoa.
is like literally our entire experience in Yartar is
Yeah.
from
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
$2.99.
Wow.
A $2.99
Guild.
DM's Guild that somebody wrote.
Worth
and
it.
It is definitely worth it. It does a good job of
Worth it.
it does a good job of getting you guys like familiar with that golden goose coin. So that way when it comes back in the adventure at the very end, you have that wait a second.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've
Because we were like,
seen
oh, the
this.
gambling boat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the game I've
Yeah.
seen this before.
Yeah.
And the Giants have no idea where it came from, but you guys do. Now,
So there was a plot hole, but you completely just
Yeah,
bamboozled us
nicely
and we had
done.
no clue.
you had
cemented that
no
stuff
clue
up.
the plot hole was there because
We had no clue.
that's
we
where
had
the
no
connection
clue.
was made. So if you pick up the book though, and you read through it, and you're like, wait a minute, why does the Kraken Society just all of a sudden come up at the end? They've been a part
Right.
of this since the beginning. Why don't they say something about it until the very end? Because to me, that kind of, you've gone this far, and then all of a sudden, ooh, surprise! Here's a,
Hmm.
but there
A
wasn't.
mystery villain.
There's no foreshadowing of this. So this does the
Mm.
foreshadowing for you if you're a dungeon master.
Nice.
So you don't have to worry about it, and your players get a pretty cool aha moment in when Sarissa pulls out that
For
coin.
sure.
Oh, yeah,
Because then
yeah.
you're like, wait a minute, there's something else going on here. We need to figure this out. And it's really cool. And honestly, though, you guys went above and beyond. Like, there was a lot more in that than what happened here. Which brings me to one of MG's questions that he typed to me.
Ooh.
One of your questions, this is a good segue, was,
yeah.
were there any spots where we went way off the plan and you had to totally improvise mid-session?
See, that's one of my questions. That's how I knew MG had it.
No, to be honest, most of the time mid-session, I didn't really have to improvise much. I would have to improvise NPCs and stuff like that sometimes.
Yeah.
But the whole Yartar situation, when you guys were running around and Molfin started summoning demons into people's bedrooms, and you guys started going on secret quests with the Hand of Yartar and robbing some rich guy's wagon, and then
Yeah.
framing Arton Rosolio by leaving his like
I was so
necklace
mad
and
at you
stuff
for that.
there. That
I don't think you know.
I don't know, but I am there.
But that
Oh,
that started in here, but is not in here. That
so
had
it's like
Okay.
like that had to totally come off of me building side quests from a side quest. So-
hit my ride. It's like,
yes.
Urge like side
Yeah.
quests.
So
Wait a minute, when did we go from GTA to Skyrim?
Yeah.
Oh, look, I'm going here. Oh, look, another side quest. Oh,
We're
look.
hitting all the genres in this game.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yep,
Yep.
yep.
And the second part of your well, there was another one there.
Mhm.
When you guys went to visit the fire giants,
Yeah.
you did it very non-traditionally. You sent, Callista was going through the walls, inspecting all the areas and rooms,
Yeah,
like,
that's true.
scouting out as an elemental because she had reached a level where she could just boom earth elemental. Like most groups would, it's kind of designed to be more like a dungeon crawl.
Oh.
And then
Oops.
but the way you guys went right for the big guns, like right away. And I had to kind of improvise what was going on because in my head I'm thinking, okay, the drow are headed to meet with this guy. Okay, this could be pretty epic. And then I just threw something together kind of quickly, and then you guys basically in the middle of the biggest room in the whole complex ambushed both the drow and the fire giant king at the same time. Like three-way battle going on. And that a lot of that was just me flying by the seat of my pants trying to make something work from what you guys were doing.
Oh, damn.
but it was
We're
fun.
like, dungeon crawl, what's that?
Because you guys didn't really like go to any of the other rooms. You just went to that room.
No, we
And
didn't.
then you
Yeah,
left.
that's true.
There's like a whole complex
I
down
just
there.
found what I was looking
Oh,
for.
damn.
Yeah, we just found what we were looking for and focused on that.
So it was
That's amazing.
it was so those were like two of the moments. But does
It
any
was just such a whole epic situation, though. That whole battle, the whole.
wasn't
Yeah, that was extraordinary.
And yeah, I mean, there's a lot of cool stuff that happened during that whole thing.
Yeah.
Callista confronted her uncle, took him out fairly easily.
Turned him into jelly
Mul-
under an elevator.
Oh, yeah.
Mulfin snatched the flask and took off with it. Got himself a new special friend. So that was one of MG's questions. To the gambling ship. Back to the Kraken's gamble. You had asked me a couple
Yeah.
questions about the gambling ship, MG. Do you think
Yeah.
we could have stolen the money lady's bag of holding?
Lachlan wanted to do that so bad because we didn't.
I remember that. Yeah.
Um,
But remember, you
Not
were
at
like,
that
she's like
time
a
we didn't.
wizard. She's a,
she is a mage, so she does
Okay.
have magic abilities. She's not like an archmage or anything like that, but I'm not sure what level you guys were back then. You guys were still probably 6 or 7, maybe.
Yeah.
Yes.
Around, probably like 5 or 6, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure if you would have been able, because there's a lot of guards on that boat too that would have came after you, so
Yeah.
you'd had to. It would have action economy would have been in the NPC's favor.
Yeah.
You could have tried. Her robe that she wears, she can actually pull snakes off of it and throw them down, and they become these giant snakes that attack you as well.
That's cool.
That's the magical robe
What?
that she was wearing. Yeah.
Let's go back to that ship.
The irony.
Yeah, we were probably 5th level.
Throwing
Uh,
snakes at the
Level
cobra.
7.
The irony.
Yeah.
I think we were level 7.
Okay, because I know I had the ability to cast Summon Lesser Demons at that point.
I have level 7 because it says sewers, aboleth, the theme, not a guy, level 7. So we were 6 to
Great
7.
note.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah,
I know.
maybe you level
Damn,
up
Sarah.
during that section of the.
I think
adventure,
I think we did after we killed the Aboleth. We leveled up.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
definitely should have leveled up after that. Yeah.
So yeah, we
'cause
were level 6
that was-
before
I
that.
After
knew that
Diana
one.
did 70 damage to it or something.
Yeah.
And the second
Pickpocketer,
Yeah,
no,
yeah,
she
yeah,
spoke in my head. Right.
the second part of the question that you wrote, MG, was, and were there any, or and were the NPCs at the card tables in the book, or did you make them up? Those were all made up.
Yeah.
Because they don't
Completely
they don't
Of
they don't
course.
list any of those people in there. They just say, hey,
Yeah.
there's gonna be nobles gambling. So I just printed out a list of names that I would think would be good noble sounding names. And that jerk that Moby had confronted, I just totally made him up on the spot. And
I wonder if any of them are based on people you know in real life.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure. Usually.
Oh, playing with the Wisdens.
The
Yes.
Wisdens, that's it, yeah.
Yes.
And I made
I'm
it
so
that
bad at making names up on the spot.
he was kind of the jerk, but his wife was like pulling
Yeah.
the strings behind him, you know, like.
Oh,
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. But yeah, that's really all there is to that part. And I think the last thing that people don't like is the final battle.
Really?
It's too easy.
What?
We made short work of it, I think.
No,
But
Michael told us he doctored it, if you remember.
I made it way
He
harder.
amped it up for us because we were over level.
Way harder.
We were over level.
And I made
Good
it way
God.
Not by
And there's
much.
other ways I made it way
Speaking
harder.
of-
But I mean, if you want to talk about it now,
What
we can.
level were we
or-
supposed to be? What level were we
11.
supposed to
I
be?
think you're supposed to be either level
11?
9 or 10.
11. No,
oh, aren't we like
module
12 or
Because the adventure module
Or
book at the
13.
back of it says it's for characters of levels 1 through 10. So,
Oh, I thought it was up to
so
11.
if you defeat
No, it was 10.
if you defeat the dragon at the end,
Oh.
that would put you up to level 10 and complete the
Oh,
module.
Oh, so we're
So
OP.
either
Oh.
9 or
yeah.
10.
So we were over level.
Too many side quests.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I wasn't gonna let
Yeah.
you not level up for killing a lich. You know, I mean,
We were 4 levels above.
yeah, you were way higher level than what.
Those layer actions killed me though. Being blind and
Yeah.
stuff like that for
Lachlan spent the
Very
whole
long
battle just
time.
blind and like unable to do
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah, the condition effects, I liked those because it wasn't
Yeah,
doing any
yeah.
damage to you guys, but it was
Slowed us
it
down.
slowed you
really
down.
annoying.
It did.
Yeah.
It's annoying and it
It
slowed
helped
you
the
down.
action economy
Yeah.
against
Yeah.
us, you know.
And,
Yeah.
and this is also a creature that is smart and a creature that
Mhm.
knows you guys because you guys might not have realized this, but she's been scrying on you.
Oh.
I
so
figured.
She
Did you see Lachlan go into the bathroom?
probably a bunch of times, Lachlan.
No!
That's it.
No!
My dignity!
No-sized.
Oh, wait.
No!
But I guess I can talk a little bit about how I doctored the final encounter for you guys, if you want me to talk
Yeah,
about that
because
now.
if they're saying the original 10th level was too easy,
Oh yeah.
what was it? What was the original, and what did you
Okay.
change?
Sure. Yeah. The original was the dragon's stats are just the normal blue dragon out of the monster manual, but she
Mhm.
has like innate spell casting, and she can make gargoyles out of stone, but she can only do that once per day, so she can only make one stone gargoyle a day. I think that's weak for an
Mhm.
ancient dragon, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Molfin could do better than that.
Yeah.
Considering
Yeah.
you can summon 3 wraiths that can create an infinite number of specters from corpses.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, but when it
Well,
comes,
not infinite, I think 7, but
yeah, it's
still.
yeah. Here it is. She got additional languages so she can understand more people.
Oh.
And she could also use the she had change shape ability, which allowed her to change shape into a storm giant, which is how she infiltrated in the
Yeah.
first place.
Mm-hmm.
And the other innate spell she had was counterspell, detect magic, ice storm, and teleport. Those were her other spells. So she did have those that made her a little bit better than in the monster manual. But when you have a rogue in your group that can do 250 hit points worth of damage in one arrow shot, that could like 2-shot, maybe 3-shot an ancient blue dragon. So when I was thinking about that, and I was thinking about Ashlin's damage output as well, because
Yeah.
Ashlin's
50.
yeah, it's not as much. But when you're attacking 4 times and rolling like 30s
Yeah.
every time,
Yeah.
you're going to hit every time. And then you got Molfin will manipulate everything in the battlefield. Diana's gonna keep everybody up, and then even surprise me with crap that I wasn't prepared for. And,
Give the dragon coronavirus, basically.
Yes.
and Callista, I consider Callista kind of like the pocket knife of the group. Like to me, she
God.
can do a little bit of everything. So I got to be prepared for
Yeah.
that too. So what I decided to do was I decided to turn it into, well, in the book they have her the same. You guys get the potions of giant size, which doubles your HP,
Yes.
triples your regular weapon damage. Okay? I cannot have you guys tripling your weapon damage without boosting something. Not the way you guys are right now.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, what also is supposed to occur is King Hecaton goes into battle, or Sarissa, depending on where you guys are. One of those guys goes in, and an additional 4 storm giants come with you
Oh.
and
Wow.
fight.
Oh.
Well, I guess if you're level 10, you kind of need that, you know?
Yeah.
Even no.
Yeah.
But
Ancient Blue Dragon, not with that sort of.
yeah, but another thing though is when you approach from the top, there's 2 trebuchets up there with 30 gargoyles at the top of the amphitheater. And technically you're supposed to fight through all those guys to get beat up maybe a little bit, expend some of your spell slots, take a little bit out of
Gotcha.
you before you go down into the pit to face Iamrith and her little snake companion friends who are really kind of worthless. But when you guys were coming in, I was like, you know what? This would be a great place to have one of those. This is what's going on with our heroes, and in the background, there's a war going on up above,
Yeah, yeah.
and they don't
Yeah, we
know what's going
recruited
on.
all the NPCs.
Yeah, they don't know what's going on, but they can hear the sounds of battle up above, and things are happening, and lightning's crashing down, and you hear roars of different people, and screaming, and explosions of fireballs and stuff like that.
And there were costs and casualties, you know?
Yeah.
That too, yeah.
Yeah.
But what I did, I decided to do it like an old video game. I split up the encounter at the top to make your NPC friends battle the gargoyles and take care of business upside. And also the Iamrith's children end up showing up. She called in some help. So
Is that in the module?
that is not in the module. It actually says
Okay, I was gonna.
yeah, I added that. They are
Damn.
they are physically in the book though. They are in the book. They are in Ascor, but they don't really care much for what Iamrith does. I kind of made them have a little bit tighter of a knit family and communication line.
Gotcha.
So when you guys went down there, I'm like, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do this. In the old video games, you had to beat a boss's hit point bar, and then like it would go back up, and they'd stand back up, and you have to fight like a stage
Yes.
2.
Yeah.
Classic,
Stage 2.
trope.
So
Yeah.
I did a double
Yeah.
I did a double stage boss encounter where when you guys went
Nice.
down there, you guys first confronted her in her storm giant form. And
Yeah.
and she had 250 hit points as a storm giant.
Yeah.
Wow.
And she was still just a storm giant, but then I added a bunch of spells to her because she couldn't. As a storm giant, there really wasn't much that she could do. So I gave her just all these like cantrips that she could just boom, 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 no problem. She could use her legendary actions to use them. I changed Firebolt to more of like an electric. That was that Sonic Bolt or whatever it was.
Damn that.
All it is Firebolt with lightning damage instead of fire damage. That's all it is.
Still hurt.
And I knew having Shock and Grass would be good for her because it gets rid of
Yeah.
your reactions.
Yeah.
So, and I knew like Ashlyn would be rushing up to her trying to beat on her, so that'd be like the great thing to have, just reach out and shock her.
Yeah.
So I wanted to have it that, and then once you guys got her down to 250, that's when she turned into her dragon form, and at that point she had about 800 hit points.
Ooh. What?
Mhm. So she had about 1,000 hit points total that you guys had
Total.
dwindled
My
her down
God.
Wow.
to. Mhm.
You
No wonder
really
it took, like,
beefed her up.
I
Damn.
beefed her up big
Yeah.
time. Well, you know what else I did? I did a little research. Spoilers for Critical Role fans. I went back and watched the Thordak encounter,
Yeah.
and then I looked at crit role stats.
Okay.
And I looked at how many like hit points Thordak had,
Yeah.
and I was like, you know what? They were about the same level. I'm going to balance it to that.
That is awesome.
Mhm.
You're good, Sarah.
Okay, and Zos.
I didn't.
Good sauce. Wasn't
Nope.
too spoilery.
It wasn't too
Okay.
spoiler. It was just
Just
about
talking hit points.
numbers, hit points. That's it. So that was pretty much the
That
gist
makes
of
sense.
it. I don't like, and this surprised me. I didn't know this until Molfin went ethereal. You surprised me with this, Molfin.
Yes.
I thought ancient dragons had true sight.
Oh.
Don't they?
I thought they
They don't.
did, and they don't. So
Stinks.
when you went ethereal and you started going through that mound of dirt that caved in on you, I'm like, this is gonna be great because the dragon can see him, right? And then I looked up to check, and you can, if you go back and watch the episode where that happens, I like look in my book, and you probably watch my facial expression change, where I'm like really excited, and then I get really worried. So I'm like, oh no, she can't see him.
Matthew was a player.
Yeah, that's it. So, I don't know. If I were a dungeon master and I was running this again, I would probably give my dragon true sight
Fair enough.
out of 30 feet.
Fair.
Because originally before, I thought she
Yeah.
did have it. Because it just, to me, it would make more sense if she can kind of change her shape and be kind of illusionary. Like, she would have some kind of defense against that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
makes sense.
You know?
Hell, even Molfin has that ability.
Does she have like tremor
Really?
sense or like blind sight or something instead?
She does not have tremor sense either.
That's really weird.
What?
And she's a burrower, though.
That's what
Yeah.
freaks me out. It's like, because when she started burrowing, then I looked at the senses. I'm like, wait, she doesn't have tremor sense. I found out both of this in that same moment, Matthew.
Damn.
And I'm like,
Oh no.
she can't even do cool stuff where she like just rips out of the ground like a bullet, and like try to bite people. She can't even do that because she doesn't know where you
Wow.
are.
Oh.
Well, and literally, when in that first part of the encounter where she turned and she dove under, we heard her start burrowing.
Mm-hmm.
And hearing that, I did the same thing you did, thinking, okay, she's going to have tremor. She's digging. She must be able to
Yeah,
sense
yeah.
this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I
Yeah.
held my action for when she popped out, because thinking, oh, you're opening your mouth. No, you're not.
Oh, okay.
And then it never happened. It was like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
oh, I'm sure it let down.
And then what sparked like her coming out like next to Ashlyn over there was like, okay, she's almost dead. This is her last shot. I'm just gonna make her pop out here and just start going nuts, because she was already hurting and she was trying to get away. She was actually trying to lead you guys into a trap, but it was gonna be there.
Oh.
She wasn't gonna get there. There was just not enough time, and she didn't have enough hit points left. But yeah, I would definitely give her tremor sense if I was a dungeon master.
That makes
Because-
sense.
Yeah.
Here's how
That would make sense.
Here's how that hurts a dragon. What benefits a dragon is their ability to fly. You don't have that in this module because the ceiling is only 60 foot high.
Right.
She's a massive dragon, and
Mm.
you just drank
Yeah,
a potion of giant size that makes you fill up half the room. And if she flies, you could still reach her with a staff or a sword.
Mm.
So
Makes sense.
if you're a barbarian, you're loving it because that dragon can't fly away from you.
Yeah.
True.
Oh yeah.
So the
Oh, yeah.
only other thing she had was her ability to burrow. But then you took away you
Huh.
took away her breath weapon because she can't breathe on you if she's under the ground. She doesn't have any attacks whatsoever if she's under the ground. So going back, if I were to DM it again, I would probably nerf a little bit more just to fine tune that last encounter a little bit more to make it a little bit like I feel like you guys were pushed at times, but I don't feel like there was ever a moment where you guys were like, "Oh no, we're all gonna die," you know?
Yeah.
There wasn't really. I don't think there was a.
I was worried with some of the Cruella stuff. When we went into
I
that
yeah.
battle,
was
Cruella,
drained.
Cruella was
That
Yeah.
got
rough.
me worried. She
There were
had me
in the
sweating.
campaign, but during the last fight, the only
Yeah,
moment I freaked out is literally the same point Michael's talking about. After that cave
Yeah.
and thinking, oh, Kristy's got this. That Earth Elemental will just
Yeah.
plow through that and everyone will fall right in and we'll just rip the thing a new one.
Hmm.
All of a sudden, it's, well, no, it's going to take you about a week.
Yeah.
It's like, shit, I just appeared on this thing's nose and nobody can get to me.
Yep. Badgers.
I
So many badgers.
I did worry at that moment too, because I knew how long it would take for you guys to get that dirt out of there.
Oh no.
And I made sure to read
Yeah,
it right out of the
because
book.
I
so-
was forced not to choose my elemental form because we fell like that, and I wasn't in giant form. Like it forced my hand that I couldn't. Yeah.
Could I have drank my giant potion and then dug him out of there?
It would have helped, but probably with how quick combat goes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would've Still been a...
It
Yeah.
still would have been hard. Man, yeah. So I'd nerf that final encounter just because I wanted. Because you guys, if I would have left it the way it was in the book, you guys would have mauled it, and it would have been really boring, and you guys would have been like, we came all this way for that, and I didn't want that to happen to you guys. You guys deserve better.
It was appropriate.
Well,
That
it
moment
literally
cool.
would have turned
into-
into, oh, that's all that was? Okay, fuck this, let's go get old Snarl.
No,
Oh.
Basically,
I
yeah.
forgot about him.
Oh yeah, he still speaks my brain.
This is like my whole campaign.
No, the
It's like,
cr-
oh, I forgot.
I
about
definitely
that
feel
part.
like, yeah, I definitely feel like the Corel fight was a lot more intense and scary.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah, that was.
Cause
But
she
the
was
dragon was
scary and-
pretty epic.
The dragon.
I think the
was
dragon,
epic.
dragon
was,
was
very
epic.
cool, but I wasn't.
Cruella was
Iron,
scary.
like
Yeah.
Cruella was scary.
like
She
the
wasn't-
moment where
Yeah.
the
Dragon
giant
was
form went
epic,
down,
Cruella
she
was
turned into
scary.
a dragon. Like that was so awesome.
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
very cool.
yeah. It's like, oh yeah, here we go, final form.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
So those are for DMs. Those are the three things that I see that people complain about the most. Is the first chapter, the plot hole with the Kraken Society, and the last battle being a little bit too easy for their players. So those are the things that you might want to take a look at if you're going to run it. It could be different with different players as well. So remember, my players got there. They were a little bit more overpowered than most of your other players are going to be. They got a
Yeah.
crap ton of magic items because they killed some pretty legendary creatures before this. You know. So those are the three big things I wanted to hit with you guys. How about some questions from... I answered a couple MGs. How about some questions from somebody else?
I have a question.
Zaz has a question. Here we go. I'm excited.
I wrote them down because I didn't know I was supposed to send them to you.
No, you didn't have to send them to
when-
me. You didn't have to.
Oh, okay, cool. One of mine that I just was wondering the whole time was just like, what would have happened? Like, what happens to the two daughters? Like, maybe we already discussed this, but like, I'm like, what if Hekaton had believed us? Would he have like executed them? Is there anything in the book for that?
It doesn't really
I
mention
wonder
too much.
about the branches.
It kind of leaves
Very,
it.
very off.
Yeah, it kind of leaves it up to the dungeon master, I think.
Okay. Would you
We
have
should
killed
hunt them down.
Basically,
would you have hunted them down?
I don't know. It didn't turn out that way, so I didn't have to deal with it. In the book, you got to be real careful with the storm giants because they don't 100% trust small folk at all because their mother was killed by small folk. So while they're a little bit more peaceful than the other giants are, as far as you know, they don't trust you. So it says at any time in the module, like honestly, that encounter you guys had with the sisters could have gone a different way. If you guys would have started combat with them, they would have all tried to kill you.
Oh,
Yeah.
Knew I should
That's why I was like, don't fuck this
Yeah.
up. I just secured the throne. Don't make a mess.
Yeah.
In the book, it makes it a little bit more difficult for the players, and I didn't like the way it was written in the book.
Yeah.
Basically, what's supposed to happen in that encounter, when you guys first go up there and they're playing the music and singing, you guys are supposed to go. They're supposed to escort you down to the guest chambers, where you're supposed to wait for them. They send some guards to watch over, and basically what the two sisters do is they tell all those other giants that are waiting in there, that they don't even go tell Sarissa that you guys are there. They tell all those other giants to go down and wait on you, and that they are going to basically be waiting to slaughter you when you guys come out of the guest chambers.
Oh.
And then there's an epic encounter where you guys fight like one of each of those giants that are there.
Oh.
Down at the bottom.
Oh.
But if you do that, what happens is, and this is, to me, it just doesn't make sense in the module. Like if you go that route, why would they want to talk to you then? If you then, you know, like
Kill everybody,
it kills the RP moment to me, where you get the chance to like meet Sarissa. Now I know it would be hard to just walk into, you know, a throne room, but I can't remember exactly how you guys got in there. I think there was somebody like making a lot of racket or something, or
We walked up the stairs.
yeah, you just walked up the
And
stairs.
like failed stealth checks.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
If I recall.
and they came out. I wanted them to come out because I wanted there to be I wanted that to be more of a, like, to me the other way is just kind of like, okay, you just thrown in another combat encounter here, and it doesn't really feel like it gels with this. It's not pushing
For the
story.
sake of combat.
Yeah, for the sake of just
Yeah.
having another fight. Yeah, they did write it in a
Yeah.
way that it kind of could make sense. But I know you guys as players too, and I was like, you know what, this would be a really good opportunity for them to finally meet these storm giants and finally get to find out what's going on. I didn't really want to lull that out any longer than that. And you guys are pretty smart, and you guys could feel a little bit of that tension already from those sisters.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I knew I didn't have to have like a whole lot of stuff going on behind the scenes for you guys as players and your characters to understand there's something fishy going on here. Yeah, that's a good question, Zos. I like that one. Anybody else got some?
Thank you.
Where's Artist Simber?
Yeah.
Oh, the giant was looking for us,
That
right?
reminded me of
Everyone's
something.
looking for him.
Yep.
Do you want the true answer? I can tell you exactly where he is.
Hey, Tomb of Annihilation spoilers. You have to buy another module to find out where Artist Simber is.
Damn.
What?
He is in Chult.
Yes. Okay.
Currently buried under a tree.
What?
Oh,
Well.
yeah, that's true.
Yep, and if you go by what our current proficiency bonus lore is right now,
In our expanded universe,
in our
yeah.
expanded universe, I believe Artist is dead, right?
Yeah.
Artist got
Yep.
beaten to death. I can't remember who cast it. I want to say it was. I can't remember who cast Featherfall. They were running from a group of frost giants. Artist, his friend Dragonbait, and the party jumped off a cliff. Somebody cast Featherfall, and they just started falling slowly with Artist and Dragonbait. The giants don't care about anyone else; they want Artist. And just started pelting him with
Pelting him
boulders.
with boulders. Oh.
And he cannot go anywhere. He is slow drifting down and just getting bludgeoned to death.
Oh.
Yeah. And then we put him on a floating disc and cast Gentle Repose or something, and
I
Well,
basically
under
carried
a
his
tree.
body for like a day and then buried him under
Yes.
a tree.
Yes,
Yeah.
Keplin says in chat that she knows exactly where he is.
Yep.
she would.
And
She would.
Keplin, you need to be very cautious, because wherever that character is, it's wearing that ring that you've got on. Those giants still want it. They're gonna come after you.
True.
They might be lurking in chat. Be careful. Cool. That was an awesome question. I think Sarah already knew the answer to that.
Where's
Yeah.
She was ready. She was ready. She was prepared.
I don't know if this is spoilers going forward, but where's Zephyros?
Huh, this was one of MG's questions too.
Yeah, that's when I wrote
Oh,
down. too.
god damn it, MG!
Interesting enough, that's another thing. Like, I think people have a problem with is he kind of just disappears from the module, and he just disappears in general. I mean, it says that.
Oh.
I'll tell you exactly what it says. Where's this at? There's like ones. It definitely says that he's pretty much on the verge of losing his mind, which is the way I tried to play him when you guys first.
Explain your
Planar
Mission accomplished,
entities.
bro.
Yeah, trying to make that.
Just wait, Molfin can do that now too.
Oh.
He may go crazier.
Oh yeah, that's true.
I think there's some part in here where it says like basically his cloud castle just floats off under the above the ocean, and he just goes out exploring over the ocean. So he could be at another continent. He could be just flying out there.
Jeez.
Yeah, I mean it really ends his story abruptly in the
Is
book.
it a euphemism for
Yeah.
dying?
Yeah.
Oh.
It just says
He
he-
flew over
Never
a
comes
great big
back.
Went to the farm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he passed through New York.
Um,
He went to the far realms.
With the extraplanar entities.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, and you
Yeah.
said something in here, MG, about the extraplanar entities.
What were they?
What were they? It does not say in the book. It
True.
Ah.
leaves it up to the dungeon master.
It was us in the
But
future.
it just says he keeps referring
Oh,
to these
no.
extraplanar entities, and he does cast it's like a spell that allows you to see like in other planes and stuff like that. I can't remember. It's a
Okay.
pretty high
Contact other
level.
planes.
It might be
or something?
contact plane or something like that,
Yeah.
or
Oh, hold on.
but there.
I actually have the spell now.
Yeah,
Let me pull it.
But like if
God damn it.
But if you
Oh,
I think there's like a
God.
saving throw like that goes with that spell, and if you don't
Oh,
make the
great.
saving throw, like you go a little loopy. And he's been doing it so much that it's like messed up his mind.
Molfin
And-
should never cast
Molten already
it.
has that condition, so I guess.
Yeah, yeah.
If Molfin goes crazy, would you even really notice? I'm just saying.
I was just
It's
gonna
like
say you
getting
probably wouldn't even
advantage
notice.
twice. You know, you can't.
Yeah. Doesn't stack, it's fine.
Oh,
Oh,
Terrence, you might only be short-term at now. What if he goes long-term?
Kaplan.
Yeah, that's true.
Kaplan says there's a lich after her too. Watch out.
We already dealt with one.
Oh, Kaplan, you got all kinds of creepers in chat tonight. You better be
Yeah.
careful. Yeah, but that was really all of his story. Like his purpose in the module is to tell you guys about the ordning. Because until that point, unless you it gives you your first experience with a giant, it tells you about the ordning, and it also shows you that not all giants are bad.
Ah.
Oh, yeah.
So
Interesting.
when you go into things, like there's a couple of cloud giants. When you guys face the cloud giants, there's a couple of stone giants that it deliberately says in the module, these giants are neutral alignment. Like
Oh.
they are not evil, but if you come up to them and you stab them, they're going to fight
Right.
you. You know, it's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
so
I think
it's
that's true for anybody.
right.
Yeah.
True. Yeah.
Yeah.
You come to me and you stab me, I'm gonna kick your ass.
Yeah, it's like
That's what's gonna happen.
Yeah, or if you go up and even if a neutral stone giant is with an evil stone giant and you attack the evil one, the neutral one's still gonna probably back up his stone giant companion unless there was something to
Yeah.
change his mind, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it is contact other plane.
Contact other plane,
Okay.
that's it. Yeah, that's the spell he was using way too much. That's
I
what,
never got to meet him or Gimbal. I'm so sad.
those are pretty fun. Yeah.
Well, technically, you met Gimbal at the battle, but he just disappeared.
Yeah.
Gimbal is not in the module. You won't find him in there. That is a random
That was
Michael throw in.
Michael invention,
'Cause
huh?
Cool.
I wanted you guys also understand that there were inventors in the world, and there were people trying to craft new things and new technologies and try new stuff. Because then I thought when you got the airship in the future, it would make a little bit more sense.
Okay.
Gotcha.
You know, just try to give you more of a overlook of
Yeah.
what the scope of the world is.
I gotta find Gimbal. I need to put a scope on my oath bow. Like, you know?
I
Okay.
still have his wand.
How many times did you make me and Kristy cry?
High five, Sarah!
Like,
High five!
I can think of at least like 3 for me.
Okay, well, I know for sure it was the Harshnag one. The Harshnag got you.
Yeah. 2 harsh nights. when he would- died, and we found him alive again. I cried both times.
Oh, you cried for joy. Yeah, the second time.
Yeah.
That was joyful tears.
Yeah.
Did you cry?
More shock and surprise.
Did you cry when Molfin killed your cat?
I think I was too stunned
But-
by a harsh thing.
Yeah.
I might have cried. I might have cried.
Was
It
that-
was like
that-
a combination
Was that
of
like
tears.
one cry goes into the other? Is that what? Because
Yeah.
that was like at the same
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
Yeah, that happened at the same
But
time.
that
already
technically
done.
was not
Yeah.
my fault.
Okay.
That was
And
not
you're
on me.
kinda
that was all him.
Can I just point out, if you load the gun and hand the gun to somebody that goes off, you're at least partially responsible here, you know? You handed me a lit bazooka and said, just point it away when you pull the trigger.
I can't remember or not when Anastasius died. Were you?
Yeah,
Yes.
we
That was
cried.
100.
That
Oh,
was-
Yeah,
for
I think
sure.
everybody was.
Everyone cried when Moby
Kristy
laughed. Everyone
broke
cried
hard.
when Anastasia has his thing. You cried, Kristy, when you found out about your dad.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I totally forgot about that. Yep. So I think about 3 times for me, but
Yeah.
I guess Anna was a combo of 2 because one was when he actually died and the second was at his funeral.
Yeah, that's
Mm.
true. Yeah, that's true.
No.
So it's like one over 2 episodes.
Yeah.
And just so you all know,
Yeah.
I did message JJ before that all happened,
Okay.
so you guys all know, because I was worried, because I knew she had a 9th level spell, and I knew it was power word kill, and I knew not a
Okay.
single one of you had over 100 hit points.
Yeah.
So someone
Yeah.
was going to die. It would have been the
Okay.
end of someone, no matter what. She was going to kill one of you. So I messaged JJ because at that moment in time, Kristy had been running his character a lot,
Yeah.
and it was starting to
Yeah.
get. You know, I started to feel like he might, even if he did come back to the campaign, he'd be so far removed from what was going
Yeah,
on, it would be
yeah,
hard for him to get back
yeah.
in. So I said, you know what, JJ, they're about to face a lich, and they're kind of under level for this encounter.
Yeah.
She's gonna kill one of them. So Anastasius is there. Is it okay if she uses power word kill on Anna? And he said, you know what? He basically flat out told me, for one, it makes more sense for, out of game player standpoint. It made
Yeah.
100% sense
Yeah.
for Anna to be the one to go. Secondly, he didn't want to see any of your characters die. So
Oh, such
Aw.
a dude.
as
Yeah.
a D&D
JJ.
player, he willingly sacrificed his
Aw.
character baby, basically,
Mhm.
because he wanted you guys to continue on and carry on the campaign. Because I flat
Poor
out told him,
guy.
I'm like, look, after this 9th level spell gets out of the way, she's still gonna hurt him, but I think they're gonna make it.
Okay. Now you're gonna make Zos
Oh my
cry.
God. I literally, like,
It also
hearing
made
that-
the most sense narratively, honestly,
Yeah.
because that like
Mm.
really put Callista in with Asmodeus.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Like
Oh,
100%
yeah.
locked in.
That was like the beginning of the dark side of Callista, I feel.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's true.
And
That's
what
true.
she said.
Oh, the
to
other time I
Callista-
cried is when Sarvin died.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. I
yeah.
cried during that too.
I
Yeah.
may have even got a little misty on that one.
Yeah.
You know?
That was a
yeah,
great
tough.
letter.
That was tough.
But
That was a
no,
great
Anna
letter.
sacrificed Anna for us. That's what makes me cry.
Yeah, Anna.
That's the
I think I
strongest
broke the
thing.
hardest for Anna when that
That's
happened,
the
Yeah.
strongest.
for sure.
Callista came close.
And like Callista, I was just
came
gonna say Callista
close.
came close because I followed her.
Yeah, that I was not ready for that move.
Callista should have dead.
And if it
Callista
weren't
should've
for
died.
if it weren't for Molfin vouching for you with his new friend,
Yep.
Mhm.
I don't on
Friends
one-on-one
never
combat, I
die.
don't think you would have survived, because she still
No, I don't think so
'cause she
either.
still had a couple spells that could do a pretty good amount of damage.
No, that
the
was-
thing.
Christy
So
the
at
player
least
was
six.
not there. That was Callista 100%. Like I don't give a.
Seven.
Mhm.
So done.
At least
Yeah.
8 between us. That's the answer I was looking
At
for.
least 8 between you. Good. You tallied them up.
Are you
Can I
counting
just say-
Sarvin's letter? Because I think all of us cried on that one.
Okay,
Oh,
at
yeah.
least 9 from all of us.
Okay.
I was gonna say that what is it? The whole thing with Cruella was so artfully done and so like beautifully written,
Yeah.
and like it was just on so many different levels. The encounters that you made for that, like the
Yes.
storyline that
Oh,
you made
yeah.
for that, like the way that the rising tension of going into the different planes
pressure.
and like everything.
Yeah.
It was
Seeing
so
Clarion.
good.
Oh my God, it was very good.
exactly. It
Yeah,
was
that was one of the
so
best.
good. That was amazing.
Well, thank you.
Can we just call it the long game?
I was just gonna mention the
Yes.
long game.
Yes.
That's another question of the long game. I think you've mentioned this before, Michael,
Mhm.
but the kiss
The kiss.
that sealed the deal on Diana's soul.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Like you played the longest game with the Cruella
Yeah, that was.
storyline.
Yeah, and honestly, it was just bare bones at the beginning. Like,
Mm.
because I was looking at this module, and I knew who you guys, I knew the players, I knew who you guys were, but I didn't like, we hadn't been playing for a long time, so it's like,
Yeah.
you know, if they want to go up beyond level 10, because
Mm.
in the past, you know, we busted through the first 5 levels pretty quick. I wasn't
Yeah.
sure if you guys stayed on story queue, I wasn't sure how long this would be. So I said, okay, well, you know what? I'm going to plant seeds to a bigger bad guy that's going to be there when they get done with this blue dragon storm giant mess. This bitch is just going to drive them crazy.
Yeah.
and that's the seed that I started with, and I'm like, you know what? I know Matthew's running Tomb of Annihilation here soon, but you can't get any higher than and badder than a lich, you know.
Yeah.
So I took this, and she's got a whole backstory too that I developed over time. You guys would have gotten to like, Callista was starting to get little glimpse of it, but then she was sick after Anna died. She was sick of it, and she just put her to death.
Yep.
Wow.
But the
Yep.
it came from a
That's
scene,
very on.
and the
that's
kiss
very
the kiss
accurate.
actually helped me to develop the story of that a little bit
Oh.
more, because I wanted the phylactery to be protected by some type of emotion that was stolen from souls of individuals. I wanted it to be tied to the heart in some way, because a lot of her backstory is about a broken heart.
Ah.
Oh, what's her
Don't feel
backstory?
bad,
Right.
Diana. That's such a Diana thing.
Diana,
For, like,
stop!
Diana, stop.
You're Zox right now. Stop.
So I was like, what if this whole lich came up with a way to protect her phylactery, that it could not be destroyed because it was protected by the love in other people's hearts.
Wow.
This is even better than the book.
That's
This is like,
Yeah. That's
yeah.
deep.
This is yeah.
Publish the
Yeah.
Cruella book.
Published girly. That's a lot of writing.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
could do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
But basically,
You could.
when you
That'd be
kissed
awesome.
when you kissed Zolkin,
Mm-hmm.
that piece of what you had, those affections, those emotions that you had towards him, were transferred to that gem in the dagger. And those gems that went around, that the black gem represented in the middle represented the phylactery. It was like this dagger was the key to the phylactery, which was in the king's chest when you guys fought them,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
which you shattered with the dagger.
Yep.
Right.
And that's the only way
Yeah.
you can destroy it, is you have to have the dagger to destroy it, which you guys got
Good thing I stole it,
possession
yeah.
of early on, because some crazy thief decides, I'm going to take this dagger. If he wouldn't have decided to take that dagger, you guys would not have been in possession of that key to the phylactery. And
There was a ring. There was a handkerchief. You know.
This
But-
blows my mind.
but those weren't
Such a rogue.
but those weren't going to be what could destroy the phylactery.
Yeah.
Oh.
You had the key the entire time, which pissed her off. And that's why when you guys were with Clarion, like, you guys started to get, I think somebody had like a crazy dream where you guys ended up in it wasn't a dream, but you guys were seeing people in a graveyard.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was-
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
it. Was all
Yeah.
of us.
That
Molten
was,
went in,
I think all of us.
Callista went in.
Mulf and Callista went in.
You guys saw
Wow.
the 6 graves that represented
went
the
in.
6 stones that were on the dagger.
No, you guys wouldn't
Yeah.
let me go
Yeah.
in. You guys wouldn't let
Yeah,
me
that's
touch
right.
the
Oh,
back.
right, because we
Yeah.
saw you. We didn't want you to see yourself.
Yeah.
And you guys got
Diana was like, I want to go.
you guys didn't get a glimpse of him, but there was that. You remember the mage that you fought with Cruella the first time you
Yeah.
faced her with the lava?
Yeah.
Yeah, when we chucked him in the
Yeah.
lava.
He was
Mhm.
present in that dream. He's who threw the lightning bolt at you, Callista, and shocked you out of the stage.
Oh.
Ugh.
It was that guy.
Mm.
Oh, and we saved Dorn? Right. That was great. That was a great
We
fight.
saved Dorn.
Yeah, we saved Dorn, all right.
Oh.
That turned out well for us.
Oh.
I love the fact that Michael was like, I want to give them a bigger overarching villain, and then we just took out Cruella like A, B, C, and D like first thing, and then he was like, oh, you know,
Well, we
let's just throw
had to
Vecna in
fight
there.
for your
Let's
soul
just, like, throw the
first.
cleric
Well,
of Vecna
that's what
in
it
there.
boiled down to. Is Michael said, "Oh, she's going to drive them nuts," and she did exactly what he designed her to.
Yeah.
To the point where it's like, you know what?
Yeah.
I know we're going to be dealing with this giant shit, but if we're going to be dealing with this crazy bitch in our heads the whole time,
Yeah.
you know, I might just start
And it was
sending
so-
specters to go
It
murder
was
children.
so well done, Michael. It
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
so well done. The
Yeah.
fact that like we
Yeah.
had to sit on that for like almost 50 episodes to figure out how Diana's soul got
Soul was stolen.
trapped
yeah.
in the
Yeah.
first place. Because we're like, how did that happen? We're like, what? Ugh.
Loved that.
long game.
And then it was a whole thing of like of them trying to destroy the gem too. That was really interesting. I liked that for roleplay.
Yeah.
Was all of us debating with that. We should destroy Diana's soul gem.
We didn't, because we didn't know, right? That if you like destroyed
Yeah.
it, could,
Yeah, we
like,
didn't know.
Nobody could figure it out, and it was great because
Yeah.
it created a very tense moment. Because
Oh yeah,
some
that
of
was a
some
good-
of you want to just set it down and smash it, and then they're like, wait, what if it kills Diana? You know, it's like
That, yeah.
Yeah,
Or like
yeah.
I lose my heart or something. Like
Yeah.
I think that was me and
We try to test it on Kella to see like
Yeah,
what happens.
speaking of
Yeah.
Kella,
and that's exactly what happens if you destroy a gem that's in there. Basically, it makes them unable to love or have kind of like romantic thoughts or feelings towards anyone else. Like you can have
Like, ever again in their
friendships, but when it comes to like romance and things like that, you don't fall in love with anyone. You're unable to until the phylactery is either that gem is replaced or it's completely destroyed and done with.
Destroyed.
Mhm.
Yeah.
so how did Kella survive all those encounters? By the way, she showed up like a bad
Yeah,
penny
how the
all
heck?
the freaking time.
she's a
Well,
Yeah.
Good
Armor.
deck saving throws.
Well, at the
you know?
beginning-
Michael's just keeping her alive for the lulls.
At the beginning,
She's
Uh,
so armored.
at the beginning,
I
she
gotta kill
survived because even though Callista was killing her, Diana kept on raising her back up. So that was not my fault. That was your cleric's fault.
It's a good thing she loves Diana, because I swear to God.
And then
I felt bad for her.
and everybody's sitting around like,
Oh.
oh my gosh, this is crazy. What's going on? So Zolkin's like, hey, let me grab her and get out of here. I'm just gonna grab her and go.
Yeah.
So they got away that time.
Trifling.
She just successfully ran away from you guys for the demon fight. She was hurt pretty bad, but she was able to get out of there.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
You got.
Yeah.
I mean, I think she only
She
had
had like
like
a sliver left, I bet.
She's
Yeah.
like 7
She's
to
so
10 hit points
lucky.
left or something like that. So she barely survived
Yeah.
She's
that.
so lucky.
I can't really go into details about the last Kella encounter because it's going to come up later. So, and
Yeah.
I'm not going to go into too much detail about.
Wait,
what
wait,
happened.
wait. Let me get my
Yeah.
snap fingers on. She took my man from me, and she has to die. I think that's what it comes down.
Can I just point out that your man is your cousin?
Yes!
Not by blood.
I'm an elf, he's a gnome, but I know
That's how they do it. The forests of
I'm
whatever.
your elf. You still think I'm your uncle?
Yeah, I'm not too bright. I got dropped on the head. Leave me alone.
You said the cleric checked that.
Leave her alone, Matthew.
So I'm wondering, are
Let
they
me
actually
spin off
related?
what the- Huh?
No.
No.
Probably not genetically.
We don't know.
I was
You don't know.
wondering,
Yeah, you
like,
know.
maybe Ashley
We
is
don't know.
short for an elf.
You know what? I was going to make a joke. I'm not going to go there.
Okay.
Leave it alone. Leave it alone. Put it down.
Hey Matthew, you got any questions pertaining to?
Yeah,
I'm
thinking
sorry,
about-
Storm King's Thunder folks. We went off on a tangent talking about
Yeah.
stuff that's not in the book. I apologize, but
Wow, how typical
Well,
of us.
at the same
it was in the
point, this
campaign.
is also about the whole campaign.
it's about the whole.
though,
Yeah,
too,
yeah,
which
we're
is-
summarizing our
Yeah.
campaign too. So yeah.
So
Yeah, Matthew, you got anything for me?
yeah, well, I've got one to tie off of. I've got a couple, but a lot of them like have been general. Like MG's got them, Christy's got them. I think we've all got a lot of similar ones. But to tie off what Ashton just said about Kella, what about Dorn? Was he from the book at all, or was he just all part of that bigger Diana backstory?
Dorn
It's just sort of spiraled.
Dorn was a part of Diana's backstory. He was
Okay.
not in the module.
Okay.
Basically, when I started writing, when Diana gave me her when Zos gave me Diana's backstory, we had to like, okay, why is she in Daggerford? Why would it make sense for her character to be here? Okay, well, she's a cleric. She'll be at a temple. Technically, Daggerford doesn't have a Temple of Ilmater in the true like Forgotten Realms universe. So I made one. I just said there is a Temple of Ilmater here. It may not be like the biggest temple, but it's here. So I made that temple, and Ilmater's like the one that just worried about people suffering. So it'd be kind of like almost like a
Suffering and
hospital or
sacrifice,
something like a place where orphans could go and have a place to stay. So that's the kind of service that servants of Ilmater do. You know, things that take away the suffering of the people.
Yeah, and he's the one that pulled
Yeah,
Callista in. Because in Callista's backstory, you gave me Dorn was the reason that I trusted this group enough, because he did take in orphans and like misfits, and she's 100% a misfit. So she's like, okay, I see what you're doing with these kids. So she was willing to work with Dorn because she sees what he was doing at the temple. At least she thought she did.
True.
So.
Wow.
But yeah, Dorn is he's not in the module. You won't find him in the book. He is
Interesting. I thought for sure he was there.
He came from, actually, he was birthed out of Zos's backstory. So
Cool.
Zos's mind
Good job.
basically came up with him, and I just tweaked him a little bit, you know.
Nice.
And then I made him Vecna. No.
Basically.
He worships
sensing a
Vecna, which is now
pattern.
me. So hey.
Yeah, I'm sensing a pattern of Diana being her own undoing.
But you know
don't know
what?
if there's a
You're just giving
metaphor for
birth to
that.
gods.
You know what, Diana, what was really cool about it is I didn't always intend, like, I put the hand of Vecna in the game, and I put it, like,
Yeah.
right underneath your feet, basically, for
I
for
know.
an extended period of time. But when you guys when you guys switched gears and you were kind of getting out of the book and going the whole Corello route, Corello the Black, I was like, you know what? Dorn's been here this whole time. He's kind of been hanging out with all these guys. And then I started thinking, he is intrigued by all this. And then that's when I started to develop a little bit of Dorn into more of... I didn't intentionally from the get-go have Dorn set out to be the jerk that he ended up being.
Yeah.
It was kind of developed out of us as storytellers together. And to me, it kind of made more sense at the time. And it gave me an outlet because, as a dungeon master watching, sometimes you have to improvise story elements and arcs too. I saw that you guys were going after my big bad guy before you were even getting through the module.
Wait, who's the big bad guy? Vecna?
Corella was supposed to be a big
Corella.
bad guy after the big bad guy. But then you guys went after the big bad guy first to go after it before you went after the dragon. So I'm like,
Yes.
okay, well, now I need a bigger bad guy. Crap. so I started like putting all these like spider webs together in my mind of how I could lure in onto something else afterwards. But then you guys ended up creating bigger bad guys for yourselves. I didn't even have to do any of the work.
Yep. The gods.
Because you guys started signing contracts and telling people you wanted to kill them, and then murdering a bunch of Hand of Yartar people. If you ever go back there, they probably want you dead.
I would just like to point out
Was that door part of the module that they went through?
Oh yeah.
The door?
In Nightstone.
The door they went through that brought the contract in the first place. Was that in the module?
It is in the module, but the contract is not in the module. That was a embellishment from your dungeon master.
Gotcha.
Okay.
So what usually happens? Yeah, what usually happens?
It says like you're cursed or something like that, but it doesn't tell you.
Oh, but it's like an empty curse kind
Oh.
of
It's
thing.
like a-
It's like a.
It's kind of like it. I think it leaves it up to the DM's discretion, which is I definitely.
Well,
took-
the DM used his discretion there, so.
I definitely-
You sure
Oh,
did.
Joke's on us.
Okay, here it is.
Yeah.
Here it is.
Get wrecked.
The residence. The cottage belongs to Destiny Aganar, the village tiefling midwife, and her adult son Grin. Cottage has locked shutters over its windows. The door, which is also locked, has row upon row of ornate runes burned into it. Most villagers assume, who understand, most assume it's purely decorative. But any character who understands Infernal can translate the script as follows: let all who enter this home without the consent of its owner burn for 99 years in the depths of Nessus and freeze for 1,000 more in the icy wastes of Cania.
Ooh.
Well, that sounds unpleasant.
You know what? But then it doesn't say anything after that. So
Wow.
it was all your dungeon master. Their
Hell
knowledge.
yeah.
I think Diana
Yeah.
can
Shoot
take
the
it.
hut.
Oh, Sarah.
What happens to old Snarl? Can we go back and kill him still, or is he watching us? Or
Snarl is only like a paragraph in this book.
really?
Mm-hmm. It says
Wow.
it says you can go visit there if you like, but that most adventurers die.
Oh,
Michael's probably written 8 pages.
So the
on it.
whole
Yeah.
airship thing is not in the module?
The airship is, yes.
Oh,
but
okay.
The
But it's from him?
But the section, like if you look under Cloth and Veil in the book, there's only like 2
Mm-hmm.
paragraphs.
oh.
I speak Infernal.
You speak
So
Infernal?
do I.
I speak Infernal. Wouldn't have been lovely
do
for
I,
you
but-
to have seen me be there.
But neither of us were there. Me and Diana were not there.
Oh, those the gnomes going off on their own. Yeah.
Yeah, that,
Yeah,
that's
you guys
always
all
a great
three of you
idea.
went
My
on your own.
God.
You know, have
We
you
could
noticed
have
how much
protected
none of us
trouble
were
we
there.
get into when Callista decides to wander off?
Okay.
Oh! Shots fired!
Okay.
Shots fired!
Callista goes to explore in a mountain, and a fight
I
blows up
don't-
with yak people.
I cannot be in 2 places at once, unlike you, okay?
Not yet.
I'm gonna have to
Mr.
break my
Something
wife's heart again and bring
simulacrum.
back the simulacrum.
Yeah, give me a simulacrum of Callista and you'll never go wrong, okay? She'll babysit all of you.
Please no!
Get me the 7th level spells, and you got one.
I was like, no.
Yeah, Lachlan can't handle that.
But the spin-off of your Cloth question, MG asked, how long could we have kept Cloth's airship if we had played along? That was a question that MG asked.
If only we had an airship.
Yeah.
It doesn't really say in the book.
Yeah.
It basically says it's a gift to you and you can keep it.
It was
Oh,
hmm
That's not a gift. It's not a gift.
But-
This is what they do. They give you a gift.
That's the thing.
to the
And
guy.
Zos, exactly. That's how I played it. I played it as a gift, but in so, Cloth is very familiar with that airship, giving him an aspect to scry and watch you at any aspect of time.
Oh.
So,
Okay.
Mhm.
That makes sense. yeah.
ulterior motives, you know?
Yeah.
He's like, yes, it's a gift, it's
It's like-
yours. Do with it what you want,
Mhm.
but I'm your sponsor. You know what I'm saying?
Okay,
It's like
Yeah.
you want
You're wearing my team jersey now.
you're wearing
Yeah.
my jersey, so you're on my team.
Mhm.
Fair enough.
And that's kind of how I went with it. Even though it doesn't essentially say that in the module, it seemed to make sense.
Yeah.
What about Clarion?
Well-
How much is he in the module?
Not
Oh, good question.
Not hardly at all. All his
Oops.
Wow.
his point was he supposed to drop off those dwarves at Zephyros' tower and then basically scare off the griffins at the top so that way the dwarves can get up there and smash that navigation orb. That's their whole purpose. And then Clarion is supposed to just leave and be done.
Whoa.
And just leave the dwarves.
What's
Not
that?
become the handsome husband.
Well,
though?
take the dwarves with them after they succeed in their mission. Basically,
He thinks he can leave.
Yep, that was it.
So-
That was
Close, I
that was the only
have
place that he was in the
wow.
modules too. So there was you guys kept him around for a long time.
Yeah.
So let me spin off a
Clarion,
little of what
Gum
you said
Gum.
about what with the fire giants and Klauth and wanting to do that.
Yeah.
What would have happened had we just not gotten to the fire giants in time?
Oh, and the
Like
ta-
with
and
the-
They
Titan
got the
handed over.
primordial. They started up the forge. Could they have gotten that giant Vedelkin, whatever the hell
The
thing
Vol-
was?
Vonadod?
Yeah.
Vonadod, yeah.
Here's the thing with that. This production would have started, but that's going to take a very long time.
Okay.
So even if they did get that big forge going with the primordial in it, we're talking, gosh, a lot of time. Because they didn't even find all the pieces to it yet.
Oh, okay.
Right.
So they have
Yeah,
to
it needed more
find all the
pieces.
pieces and then basically forge it back together and meld it back together. That'd take a lot of time.
So we
So-
basically cannot use this thing either.
Oh, okay.
Not necessarily. I mean,
You can just point it at someone and like kill their face instantly.
anybody can unlock a terrible fire titan onto the
Sure.
world by just popping the cork on the thing.
Yeah.
Bottle of champagne.
Yep.
Whether you
Give me a sword, I'll saber it.
whether you have control of it or maintain control of it, that's the question.
So if we would have failed, what would have happened to like the drow? Like what were they gaining out of that?
I cannot answer that right now.
Okay, fair. But it,
Magic
was
8
that in the
ball is
module?
coming up cloudy.
What's that?
Was it in the
Yeah,
module?
the drow are in the module,
Okay.
but
Okay.
there's no extended story on the drow in the module.
Gotcha.
Like
They're no.
there is a
Um,
purpose to it. There is a purpose to it.
Okay.
But it's not like in depth. There's only like a little bit of information put on there. Yeah.
And you can't give us more because the matron's been contacting Calista recently.
Yeah, and your family.
Yeah, okay.
And that's
Oh,
And they-
why did you give me that family specifically?
because it was in the module.
Okay, fair enough.
And to me, it made sense because they're a struggling family that's kind of on the outskirts of the noble classes. They were a part of like the commanding classes at first. And then they decided, hey, we're going to go build our own city because this place is abandoned. Did that, but then the dwarves came back and took it back. And that basically made your standing in the social class of the drow. They already filled that empty space. So you guys kind of were outcasts. You guys were still noble, but not a part of the council. So it's kind of like, where do we fit in all this? And that makes your matron mother extremely upset.
That explains a little bit more about why Dad was like, yeah, her pride.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that makes sense.
All she cares about right now is moving back up that ladder.
Gotcha.
Mhm.
Here's another one for you.
Okay.
Way, way back.
Oh no.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Oh no.
Orange
boy.
peel.
Orange peel.
Oh, no.
Orange peel. You
Orange.
made a choice. No, and I asked this at more as dungeon master to dungeon master.
Yeah.
Because I know, at least in zombies as general,
Mm-hmm.
you don't get zombieism, so to speak, through a bite.
Mm-hmm.
But zombie orange peel bit a giant, which turned into a zombie.
Yeah. Yeah,
But
I kind of
What
remember
did
that.
come from?
I don't know where that came from, to be honest. I'll have to go back. I'll have to go back and watch
Somewhere
that.
in here.
I was just like, you know what? These guys are mauling my guys pretty easy. What if I make one just get back up? That's kind of what I was thinking.
Sounds about right.
I was like, what if I just
Walking
give them?
Dead was popular.
What if I just give them something to just shock them a little bit? Just to throw, just to throw them off their game, you know?
Yeah.
Because I just felt like you
forgot
guys,
about that.
you guys were having like a pretty easy time with them, and I don't like I'm not like the type of DM that deliberately just tries to kill everybody every single time, because I don't think that's true to like the game and everything. But you guys were doing so many things, like so many side quests, so many extra things,
Yeah.
that you guys were leveling up a little bit quicker. You guys were finding more magical items. These were just other ways that I was kind of trying to balance the game a little bit and at least get a sprinkle of a little bit of threat in there.
Yes.
That
It's, what is it, 60, 70 something episodes later, it's still there in the back of my head, just like, oh yeah.
Well, that's another thing too, is like when you're storytelling and when you're coming up with stories together, you're always thinking, okay, what are your most memorable moments? You know, what sticks? It's usually those times where somebody does something really epic or surprising, or something just shocks you just out of the blue, or and I was looking for more moments that I could like just plant seeds of, okay, how can I make this a little bit more memorable? So yeah, anybody could slaughter, 5 frost giants, but yeah, what if one gets back up and is like kind of mindless? Would that stick out in your memory a little bit more? That would haunt.
Yeah,
that would
just
haunt.
a little.
That would haunt your dreams for a few nights.
Did.
But yeah, that's really all that was me trying to just flare it up for you guys. Little sprinkle of confetti,
That was really cool.
Jumping into Waterdeep, because I've got a couple that are, and I don't know if this is potential spoilers for Wednesday nights.
True.
But we were at an inn, and 2 guys ran by with a fishbowl.
Yeah. Good times.
We have a fishbowl in Waterdeep.
Yeah, they ran by with a fishbowl.
What would have happened had we successfully tripped them?
They
'Cause
probably
they were booking it with that stupid fishbowl.
They probably would have got really mad at you guys and probably would have gotten your faces, but they wouldn't have fought you because their goal was to get a new fish. So they would immediately tried to go find another place to put this fish that would have been flopping on the floor around. So they would
Throw it
have,
in a beer mug.
yeah, they would have grabbed anything and filled it with water to try to save this fish, or else they would have had to go find another fish. Like quickly. So they wouldn't have stopped to like fight you guys, but they would let you know that they weren't too pleased about it. Yeah. And that is a definitely pulled from Waterdeep. So
Was Lachlan's whole thing pulled from you too, or from the module with the whole boss guy whose name I can't remember?
his boss was pulled from me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
He had originally told me in his backstory that he worked for somebody.
Oh, okay.
He just basically left it up to me who he worked for.
Dangerous.
So I was thinking, I love the idea of Xanathar and this beholder that is in charge of a thieves guild that's kind of underground in Waterdeep. It's like, what if he had a competitor? What if he had competition?
Like Wendy's Burger King.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's like fast food competition. But this guy is like, he's like an up and coming. Like,
Aldok.
Aldok,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
And what was holding him back was the fact that he didn't have an eye. Because
So we needed a fake eye.
that was holding him back because people aren't going to follow a not quite beholder. He did bring in some misfits and stuff like that. But then I was like, oh, this will plug into Sarvin too. So I had all these threads like coming together at once.
Oh,
So
man.
good.
I was like,
So cool.
I was like,
So
that's
cool.
that's beautiful right there. I loved like drawing how the connections and how you find them in different moments of your campaign. That's what I go for too. I don't want all the surprises to happen at once.
Yeah.
I want you to come across them.
I don't think any of us believed Sarvin. I think like we all assumed he was a complete BSer. I think.
Yeah.
Yes.
I thought that Sarvin was like
Calista did not believe him at all.
Yeah.
such a liar.
Ashlyn did.
I
Ashlyn
thought he had like some sort of hallucination trip or something, and he believed it. Like she believed he believed it, but she didn't believe it actually happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then lo and behold,
Yeah.
maybe he was a king.
He truly did pop that eye on that beholder. And then I love like you guys went and talked to this Taz about getting a replacement eye that she rigged with an explosive basically.
Fuego.
Yeah.
It gave Lachlan a command word and would explode. But Aldoc was thinking, finally,
Fuego.
finally, I have an eye and it's imbued with the magic that I need to be able to take down Xanathar and merge both of our thieves guilds together under the new Xanathar, Aldoc. That's what his goal was.
Yeah.
He was going to take it over. And Aldoc actually came from a dream that Xanathar had. And Aldoc was able to escape. And in his
Gotcha.
in his journey, that's when he ran into Sarvin.
Oh.
Cool.
So Aldoc was born from a dream?
Yep, that's how beholders reproduce.
That's how beholders.
Oh, I
They-
didn't know
Is
that.
they
So he was
dream?
from-
They
one
dream
that
a new
wants
beholder
to
into
overcome.
existence.
Yep.
And it just
Wow.
appears.
That's crazy.
And-
The amount of like stuff going on behind the scenes is blowing my mind.
And most of the time,
Yeah.
they immediately
Yeah.
fight to the death.
Why?
Because you can't
Power.
You can't have another beholder threaten your position.
Yeah.
But that's your baby.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
It's not a baby when it's born.
It's not really a baby.
I want us to
I think you're
overthrow you.
clearly misunderestimating a beholder.
I mean, there are smaller. What are the
babies.
smaller ones?
There are
There's
some
smaller
smaller
ones that they
ones.
get.
Gazers or
Yeah,
something.
gazers. They've
They're
created
still-
some-
they're
they've created
They're
some
still
of
not cute thus. They're still not cute.
No.
It's a baby.
those. So,
Yeah, exactly.
I
So
just
that was
picture a ball with little eyes.
and I was
Yeah.
100% prepared for you guys to go into like Xanathar's lair and like at least scope it out. I was prepared for all that too, in case it was gonna happen. That's why I have the Waterdeep Dragon Heist book and the Dungeon of the Mad Mage book, just in case.
It's like, sorry, Wednesday group, we're kind of taking over.
No, I didn't take everything out of there verbatim, but it's kind of like the places and some of the characters.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But
The map.
But you know, the way the world that you guys are playing is still a little bit different than the world that Waterdeep guys are playing in, because their characters are affecting their world a little bit differently than how you guys are affecting yours. So it all plays.
So we're not
Timelines
actually like
split.
connected in the universe.
We are connected, but it's different times.
Well, I think
you know. I think
it's
Okay.
timeline.
I think
Yeah,
they're like a
because
different timeline.
Because I was about to say.
I think
if we
Waterdeep
claim-
happens after Storm King's Thunder.
Yeah.
in
Yeah, I
our-
think it's a couple of years.
A couple years after.
I was thinking, I was like, what if we accidentally like fall into starting the Waterdeep campaign, and now we have like, would we mess up our timelines?
Alternate universe.
No,
stuff.
actually, Michaels did it really well because he brought in one of like the characters from the original and made me play the Blossom's
Flowers.
Beautiful Book.
So, yeah.
Yeah, the flowers.
Mhm, yeah.
Before flowers.
Oh.
Yeah.
So there is still the thread
There is
there
a thread. There's a thread.
Oh, cool.
from
You
the
know-
original Waterdeep, not this new one.
And truthfully, the only way to like really connect a world or between multiples, if everybody's like in on like planning sessions and understanding how everything goes, we're not gonna
Right,
we're not gonna
yeah.
get a seamless
No.
like.
It's all
True.
build.
loosely
It's-
loosely
It's
connected.
definitely loose.
Well, it's literally, this is like the Arrowverse multiverse thing. Where every
Yes.
every
Yes.
decision is splitting it a little differently.
Mhm.
So we're all
Mhm.
still in the same world,
Yeah.
but in our world, Callista said, "Yes, I'm going to sign up with Asmodeus. Maybe in Waterdeep, Molten never got
Waterdeep,
the
she said no.
shroud, and
Yeah, maybe none
it
of that
never went
happened,
that way."
Yeah.
And
but they're still there.
and the cool thing too with Aldoc's story is even if he succeeded in his goal, he would have just
He would still become the new
he would
Xanathar.
just become Xanathar.
Yeah.
But he was
Oh.
crazy.
And his fake eye still does the same thing as a regular beholder eye.
Yeah.
So even if the Waterdeep crew ends up facing Xanathar, it could be Aldoc.
Oh.
You know,
Yeah.
if he succeeded. But you know,
Yep.
Fuego.
I thought
Yeah.
about keeping the
Which
eye.
makes
'cause,
you
like,
wonder-
Yeah.
You could have.
Did Lachlan ever really blow him up?
Oh, it could have been.
But not.
It could have been. It could have been a dream Aldoc had, and he created another beholder.
Without an eye.
Speaking
Ah,
of dreams.
Interesting. Oh, dreams. Here we go.
Speaking of dreams.
Speaking of dreams, how, like, I know I started this, I put this in my own, like, I gave you the gun, but, like, what made you decide to make my one-shot cannon for Malthan?
Oh, Jesus.
Like,
Hmm.
like, that whole, like, how did you start pulling those threads to connect?
When you decided to put Callista as the one that he was trying to save. It was your choice, not mine. Because I already had seeds planted in my mind
Okay,
that
fair.
Asmodeus was going to go for you.
Oh.
I just,
God damn it!
I just wasn't sure exactly how it was all going to fit in and how I was going to tie it together.
Oh,
And when
so I was mind melding with you without knowing.
And when you did that one shot, it's like, there it is. I don't even have to work.
God damn it! So you already had the plan, and I just handed you the means.
You basically, I had this and I had this with nothing to connect it.
Uh-huh.
And then here you are with a one shot right in the middle. And I'm like,
Shit.
hey, that's great. I'm going to call it a night. I'm going to bed.
Go to the hot
Damn it.
dog.
See, I thought you had to like work from the one shot out. I didn't know you just connected to the one shot from within.
Oh, yeah.
I thought it was the opposite.
I was just waiting for something to happen that I could
Damn
find
it.
some way to link this all together. And then you did that, and I'm like, that's canon. That's all I had to do was say canon, and it makes it. There's that puzzle piece that was missing the entire time. So thank you. I appreciate that.
You're welcome, I think. Because that's what's mine. I'm like, how is he making this canon so easily? Like, that's gonna mess things up for him. How is he gonna connect this?
Yeah. No, I already
And you
knew.
already had shit.
I already knew Asmodeus was going to come for you. I just didn't know exactly why. And what your one shot did was give our campaign some foreshadowing. Because that's one thing I like to do. That's part of my long game. Is there
You do love your long games.
Yeah.
We know
is
that.
there stuff there? There's stuff there.
You longer game?
That's
Apparently.
my longer
The
game.
longest game,
The
yep.
longest-
There's all the stuff he's not telling us right now that's still
Yeah.
in the background. That's like the
Right.
scary
Yeah.
thing here. Like,
I mean, you foreshadowed last time. The left butt cheek effect is out there
Oh, yeah.
somewhere.
Yeah, there's a left butt cheek
Stop.
somewhere.
Oh my god.
No.
Stinking cloud.
I would not be able to deal.
There's
We
still
have
a
to cut off Matthew's Muffin's butt cheek for it.
Well,
Ew.
I
you know what?
volunteer.
I need to
Well,
vote for that one. I
on,
don't think I can get
on
the
this
dagger
left
off to do
butt
that
cheek
myself.
note, we really need to take a break because we're at 9:47.
Okay.
So we're gonna go ahead and take about a 5 to 7 minute break
Oh,
because
heck
we've been flipping over every stone tonight, guys. This has been fun.
Yeah.
We're gonna take a 5 to 7 minute break and come on back. Thank you guys for hanging out with us and getting some insight from behind the Dungeon Master screen and also from behind our players' character sheets and what they were thinking and all their notes and questions that they've had. So we're gonna come back after a quick commercial break. We're gonna go over some more of this module, Storm King's Thunder and beyond, and then we'll go ahead and we're gonna unveil some new character art tonight. Done by our own Kristy Mysticwater here tonight for
Hell yeah.
the continuation of this campaign as we move on from level 13 on to 20. So if you guys will stay with us, we'll be right back in just a few minutes.
ERP.
welcome back, everybody. We're so glad that you stuck with us throughout the break. We're gonna go right back into discussing the module Storm King's Thunder and then some, because we just have so many memories that from our campaign that we just cannot keep inside. We've got so many questions that we want to ask each other. So I apologize if we're getting off topic on some of the Storm King's Thunder stuff for those DMs that are watching interested in running Storm King's Thunder. But hey, a lot of this stuff is going to come up in your games too, but it's going to be totally different. So I think any Dungeon Master could benefit from listening to other people's stories and what their players did as a way to maybe just possibly just think of some ideas of inspiration for your own campaign. So Zoss, did you want to ask MG a question?
Yeah, I was gonna ask MG just when he got into his life of crime as Lachlan. That was all.
Okay.
We should ask Lachlan that in game where he can roll deception.
I know. That was what I was thinking. Was that I was like, that's an in character question. So.
Well, okay.
Well, I think we all do know
think
that
about it all
like
the time.
he does have a
parents.
long-standing relationship with Aldoc. You know that.
Yeah.
But he hated him apparently.
That's what I want to know. Is how did you get in with that?
Well,
But
his parents.
That's true. But I
Had
thought that's
the
like asking to know how she got in
business.
with Vecna.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think
that's all we
like,
know.
We know that Lachlan
That's true.
that Lachlan's parents owed a lot of money to Aldoc.
Yeah.
We know that Lachlan got
We do know
involved
that.
in all that stuff, and that the price just kept going up, and eventually it went up a little too high.
I want to know if
How did his
Lachlan has
parents
ever
get involved in
murdered
that
someone
shit?
in cold blood.
Did we? I'm trying to think how much we.
I don't know. I don't know how much we discussed about
Yeah.
how your parents got involved or anything like that. It's up to you, MG. We can save it for game if you
I
want
think
to.
no. I don't
Sure,
think there's
save
any.
it.
I think.
Yeah.
I don't know how.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's see.
I didn't mean to start a conversation.
That's-
Diverting. Who's everyone's favorite villain?
Ooh.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
That's a good question.
Or
let's-
NPC, or whatever.
yeah, let's split this into two questions, because if you just say what's everybody's favorite villain, I'm afraid that you guys are going to mention some people that aren't in the module. So if there's a way that you can keep it to what's in the module first and then branch out.
I don't know if I know.
You might not know, and I can tell you if it's in there or not.
Well, I guess Cruella's not.
Cruella's not.
Yeah.
No, she's not.
I know. The blue dragon, because she almost calls Harshnag.
So let's
That's
go
mine.
Harshnag. Yeah.
She was the only one on my list.
I'm gonna go
Oh, and
with the
Kello.
one that y'all bitches ran from. The one that got away, Slark Rethel. I am still bitter that I didn't get
who was that
to
again?
kill
The
the
Kraken.
The Kraken.
Oh yeah, why did we do that?
Because y'all
because
bitches went,
it's
it's a squid, no. And ran away. I'm like,
I was ready to hit it. Wait, I gotta pull that up.
Oh,
'cause I
that's
remember
because
not
Close was
running
focused
from
on getting the king to get the throne. She didn't. She
So-
wanted to survive to get the throne.
In the module, Sarah,
Yes.
when you get to the end of the Eye of the Allfather encounter, there is a section right here that I'm going to show you. I'm going to see if I can get on my screen, titled Harshnag's Sacrifice. Oh, it's backwards, so my camera opens it up. So it's written into the module that when this blue dragon shows up, he's going to go into a rage and he's going to go berserk and try to like attack her. But she's still kind of up there in power level from what you guys are at this point in the adventure. And it basically tells you Harshnag's going to stay behind and tell everybody to get away and go. And it's your destiny to save the giants. And then that's it. It is only like 3 or 4 paragraphs. And then in the back of the book, when you guys get ready to go into battle with Ironrith, technically, he can die here if you want him to. It doesn't tell you that he has to survive. But in the back of the book, it says, if you want Harshnag to make an epic return, here's how it can happen. And basically, Harshnag dives into that portal door in the Eye of the Allfather and avoids the cave-in.
Okay.
And eventually it says some powerful mage comes and teleports him out. Whoever that mage is, you decide. And I made it Crow and Valharo because
Oh,
With-
yeah, I gotta make sure you don't kill him, because we owe his hashtag his life for him.
Well, it wasn't just
okay.
that. It's just because Crowan, you guys told Crowan about
Complicate
this.
Yeah.
And then there was one time where you guys
okay.
tried to see if Crowan was home, and he wasn't home. I
Oh,
don't know
right,
if you guys
right,
remember
right.
that. He,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where he was.
That's when I blew up her cat.
Oh, yeah.
He was
Well, like,
actually saving
Just
Harshnag
going
at
and
that
see-
time. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, the
Okay.
plot thickens.
He did
So
us
now
a
I gotta
good
keep
favor.
Crowan because he saved Harshnag.
Yeah, but Crow wants to kill Uncle Muffin.
Are you Team
So-
Wolf or Team Crowan? It's like Twilight, you know, the werewolf or the vampire.
So I just want to
It's
put this out
exactly
to
like that.
everyone on stream when, in character, Molfin finds a reason to obliterate Lachlan. Remember this. No? Molfin's
So
like
it's
Molfin.
Twilight.
Oh.
Are you a vampire or a werewolf?
He's sparkly. He's sparkly.
Jason in chat says, honestly, I love that Sarah has all these notes.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
Sarah's a pretty good note taker. She takes some pretty good notes. And thank you
I
for all
try.
your
Thank you.
Jason, for all the awesome
Not as good as Keflin's notes.
things
Hey,
in
Keflin.
chat. I appreciate that.
I don't have my-
Kepler actually had to
I don't know.
bounce.
Yeah, Kepler had to bounce. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, Keflin
okay.
had
I'll
to-
tell her that I gave her a shout out though, because she has amazing notes. Like as a DM, she writes on stuff I even forget to write down.
I get really jealous of people who take good notes because my notes are all over the place. They're just.
I
I
just-
can as a player, but as a DM, while I'm telling the story, it's impossible for me to write down everything I'm saying as I do it.
Yeah, it's true.
So
Yeah.
Keflin will be my note taker.
These are my notes.
There you go.
I
Yeah,
have
this is crazy.
three books.
Oh my god.
All these loose leaf pages of
Yes.
typed random
Oh
things.
my gosh.
Some of them only have like 3 things written on them.
Wow.
This one says Rosolio pendant, Richborn estate, ripped off the hand of Yartar for 7,500 gold pieces. Molfin,
Did?
Yeah.
Molfin found the
Yeah.
Rosolios. Molfin framed the Rosolios for the theft of magic items.
Yes.
And
How
then,
can you do
and
that?
then,
Well,
and
I
then
gotta
for
say, I'm sort
Zos,
of pissed
for
off that nothing
Zos,
ever came from that.
For me?
key to the stones was the kiss.
Yes.
Hey!
Oh! Still
So
the best
that was
long
when you
game.
decided.
Well, it wasn't when I decided. I think it's when you guys discovered.
Found out. Yep.
Yeah.
Discovered.
That's when you guys went,
And that-
wait a minute.
And that's why we were
Because we
chasing
saw
Kel.
Kella.
Yeah,
We linked up with her.
yeah, that's when she.
I need to
kinda-
go rewatch all of these old episodes.
That was episode 36. Episode.
Oh my gosh, Sarah.
Wow.
Sarah, you take.
I
great
remember it
notes. That's
so
awesome.
vividly. I
Remember that.
had mentioned
Chronicler.
like you would have to give it willingly, and I'm like, what has Diana given Zolkin willingly that
Right.
that he could take it from her? And I'm like, oh,
Mhm.
oh,
The 5
I remember that
furniture.
so vividly when I connected the dots.
Thank God she didn't
Oh,
give him
man.
anything more than a kiss. Good lord. I lost the whole soul.
That's awesome.
All-
Oh yeah, I answered that question, so I can check that.
Did we figure out who the snail was?
The
Yeah.
snail
Yes,
was
we met-
in Dag.
Yeah, you guys
Preferred-
met.
Yeah.
You guys met the.
Yeah, we
snail.
met him.
Oh, okay, okay.
He was
He
like
was
a
rotund and boisterous
rather large
fellow.
bowling
Oh
ball.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay.
Yep.
I'm sorry if that thing is a Zentrum. That is gonna be the worst thief ever.
I mean, that's part of being a good thief and spy is like not being someone people think is one, you know?
That's right.
Innocuous.
Wow.
Or,
Well, yeah.
or just having other low-level thieves and spies do all the work for
Do
you.
all the work for
Yeah.
you, yeah, too.
That's a ticket right there.
At
Okay.
a certain point, you stop thieving, you just become a Dawn.
Yeah.
Hey, so the Weevil.
Oh yeah.
Yes,
The
Where
Weevil.
is he? Who is he?
What is he?
we gotta cash in on that.
Where's my 2,000 gold that I need to
The Weevil. I think it was it 2,000 or 5,000? I think it was
I
5,000.
think it was 5.
Oh, that was 5.
Yeah, and honestly, early on in the adventure, that 5,000 gold is a
Would've
pretty.
been
It's,
the
it's
game
like,
changer,
hey,
yeah.
looky here. Oh, my players might
Yeah.
do this. You guys were thinking.
I think we were gonna give Brock like 2, and we were gonna take the 3.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Something like
Brock
that,
was
yeah.
looking
Yeah,
for him.
that's the first time Callista broke his nose.
Oh.
Yeah.
It is
the first
it
time.
is difficult to find the Weevil in this module.
Okay,
Um,
so
Oh, in this
Yeah,
module,
that's
he's
the-
in another mod. Like Artist Simber?
It if you visit, I think it's here. It's a town. It's a place called Long Saddle, which is kind of like in the plains, like middle regions of the map.
we missed a town.
You did. There's chapter
missed a lot of
chapter
towns.
3 in this book is massive because chapter
Jeez.
3 is a sandbox. When you get to chapter 3, you guys get to make all the choices. And that's what for all you dungeon masters out there, basically what it does is this is like a page, and it gives you a town, and then it gives you 1 to 2 paragraph description of the town. That's all it gives you. So you either have to, I mean,
Read all the novels.
if you're like me, you go to other module books and you read more in depth, or you Google it online and go to like the Wikipedia that's for D&D, and you like look for any information that you can find to help you embellish it. That's what I do. But if you're not like me and you want to go with this and you want to just improvise it, just improvise it. Just go with it.
Most players won't know.
Yeah, and there's sometimes it'll have suggested encounter, and there'll be towns that have encounters linked to them. So basically, it just says in chapter 3, your players are going to go around and they're going to help deal with some of the giant conflicts that are going on, and just basically chapter 3's purpose is to make you guys feel the pressure of these giants going crazy on the land.
Which we did not, evidently. We went after Lich
You
instead.
chose a different route, yeah,
Yeah.
but there was still
No pressure here, guys.
But to find the Weevil,
Wow, you're really.
I think if you go to Long Saddle, there is somebody that
Isn't there a werewolf there?
It doesn't say in this module.
Or Sparkly Vampire.
It, you do find information about the Weevil. There's some people, if you ask around for rumors in town, people say, like, as you start to like describe the picture of this guy, people say, hey, wait, there's a keep a little bit north of here. I think I've seen someone that matches that description. He works in like the stables. So basically the Weevil is laying low,
Oh.
and he
I
has
thought he was a eccentric stable man.
well, he's working in a stable. He's trying to create a new life for himself.
Okay.
With-
He's trying to clean up his act.
Well, for the purpose of trying to stay out of jail.
Yeah.
Or worse. But he basically, this half-orc proprietor of an inn hires him to be a stable hand, and he lies about his backstory and everything. So when you guys were to go there, you guys would find the Weevil, but there's another encounter that's ongoing that's related to the giants that happens at the same time. A frost giant heard about the 5,000 gold piece reward, amasses an army of 60 goblins and 12 bugbears.
Kona cold.
And during that time where you guys are, okay, we've pinned them down, we go to Xanathar's Keep, this army shows up. The bugbears crawl up the wall and try to sneak in and grab the Weevil and pull him out. While this massive army of goblins is out front. And they basically try to take the Weevil from Xanathar's Keep to cash it in for the prize money. So it basically becomes another 3-way battle.
Oh, wow.
Because
Yeah.
you got the Weevil,
damn.
the Weevil there who doesn't want to go.
Yeah.
And then you got you guys there, and then all of a sudden, wait a minute, what's going on? And the bugbears are
All these
sneaky.
others.
They're like trying to sneak in, so it like becomes like a surprise on the town. And it makes for a pretty
That would have been good.
it makes for a pretty fun encounter. It probably would have been a long one because of the vast amount of
Yeah.
enemies.
Nightstone Part 2,
Mhm.
kind of.
Kind
You
of,
know.
yeah.
Oh, I found it.
Hmm.
Or-
Oh yeah, there you go. That's not in
Bitter
that's
boo?
not in the book, Kristy, but yeah, there's a
No, it's not. It's from the lore
Yep.
of the city.
So yeah, there are some werewolves that roll around there. So that's the Weevil, and it's kind of one of those side quests that if you want to get some money and encounter another giant that's trying to get some money too, it's just a way to kind of enhance that in the book.
Yeah.
Does
I wanna
Lachlan still
counter
want to
a bit of
find the
you.
Weevil, even though we have so
Yes.
much money?
Yeah. We don't know now. Now this is spoiled. Who knows where he is now? He could play.
Well,
he could be-
assuming that the bugbears got him.
The bugbears
Who
might have
knows
got
where he
him,
is
might
now.
have turned him back into Mirabar, and he might have cashed in and set off on his next adventure.
Oh.
So they might be done trying to find
Unless
the
he
Weevil now.
lose.
All right.
Brock's gonna be
there's that one
disappointed.
question I had, Michael. I don't know if you want to answer,
Yeah, what was
but
it?
were there any NPCs that you read about in the book and you were so excited about us meeting, and then we just like left the town before we could meet them or something like that?
Honestly, all the really main ones you guys hit.
Okay.
A lot of the other ones were just like side NPCs that if you met them, yeah, it'd be great, but I didn't really have anything like Sarvin. I didn't really have anything in mind for him until you guys met him, and then I kind of just went with it, you know.
Went hog wild.
Yeah, I just
Yeah.
Was Sarvin from the book?
Sarvin's in the book, but he's only about 3 sentences. So not that much. Yeah.
He's,
Oh wow.
yeah, he's one like Gum Gum.
In-
Wasn't Gum Gum only like a sentence?
Gum Gums,
or
yeah, like a
two?
sentence.
yeah.
That goblin only wanted the food from the kitchen, was going to take off.
Yeah. In lieu of MG's
That's,
question about NPCs we potentially avoided, what about like encounters or things that you had planned that we just sidestepped and we didn't get to see
Oh, yeah.
it? Or did you put it somewhere else?
sometimes I do put things somewhere else. I'll have to go back and watch those episodes where I pull up the sheet of paper and just rip it and then throw it behind my back, because there was a couple episodes I remember doing that.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah,
Like,
like,
from the-
that's what I'm curious
From the
about. Like,
first
what
5
did
minutes
you
of the
have
episode, I'm
planned
like,
that we just...
screw this ain't gonna work.
Yeah, that's what I'm curious about.
I can't think of anything that just stands out that you guys totally like 100% like. I'm pretty good at being flexible enough that I'm open to what you guys are doing. I don't overplan things because I'm afraid that I'm gonna do just that, have to rip up my paper.
Yeah.
So when I do plan, it's mostly just a couple bullet points. And if you hit those bullets, you hit them. If not, I have the flexibility. I can write some new bullet points like right off. Even sometimes during break if I need to, you know? Okay.
You're amazing.
Well,
He's winging it.
cannot
That's
do
good.
that.
He's completely winging it.
I can barely make up NPCs' names on the spot.
well, I can't either. I can't. You know,
Okay.
here-
Hi, I'm
you want my secret, Sarah?
Bob.
What?
I have my laptop right here next to me. And I
Okay.
have the fantasy name generator open on a tab
Good one.
at all times.
It's like,
So whenever you guys are saying, "Hey, I want to meet this guy," and I say, "Oh, right here, I'm on my tab."
Brock.
Oh, his name's Brock. Because it's right here, right next to me. So I
Oh
don't have
my
to-
god, that's amazing.
It's-
Because the last time my players asked me the name of a random wizard who died and they were asking 5 questions to, like, talk to dead,
Mhm.
I looked at my cousin's name that was I think he's Armin,
Mhm.
and I'm like, and then I looked at someone else's name, I'm like, nah. I just, like, put it together from what was on the screen, and it just
that works.
didn't work out well.
Hey, Stumpy, good to see you.
Hey, Stumpy.
Stumpy's here.
Hey,
Yeah,
Stumpy.
that's
Hi,
one thing that I've
baby.
tried because Sarah, I'm the same way. I am terrible with coming up with names on the spot. And 2, like, I just put the human name generator up
Okay.
because sometimes when you put like elf and drow names are really
Yeah, it's a lot of-
ridiculous.
Yeah.
La 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 la
Yeah, so-
Del.
You know,
Yeah.
First of all, I can't pronounce half that crap. And,
Yeah.
and second of all, how am I ever going to remember that NPC's name?
Right.
So
Yeah.
sometimes I do put on the flair, but I mean, I try to keep it as basic as possible just because for me, I want to be able to remember it. And I pick up I'll pick up like I'll find the most exotic human sounding name for like elves.
Okay.
You know, I'll look at those, but they're still kind of still a little bit easy so we can remember them.
Like
Mhm.
Zosmos.
That is a very cool name.
Totally. Yes.
Thank you, it's Elvin. No. It's great.
All right.
Same difference.
But yeah, really,
Yeah.
really, MG, when it comes to NPCs and stuff, I mean, honestly, my favorite ones were the ones that were only supposed to be there for, like,
Yeah,
a little
the ones you
short period of
invented, like
time.
Yeah.
Gum Gum and Sarvin, and yeah.
The coolest ones are
Yeah.
the ones that I've kind of got into personality just on the spot and didn't really think
Yeah.
about it too much and just went with it. Didn't over
The book
prepare
gave you a prompt, and then you just rolled with it. You know.
Yeah, like one or two
Yeah.
sentence prompt. That's why if you're a dungeon master, it might be easier for you to like just do that. Like write down the NPC's name, maybe what their race and maybe class are if they're kind of an adventurer type, and then just write a quick sentence and maybe something that they do or like, and that might spark a personality out of it, and just go with
Good
it.
tip.
Yeah.
Good tip.
Is there-
Matthew, I wanted to know, when did you plan on Molfen going evil?
Oh, let's drop that
Valid
bomb.
question.
That's a good question.
And I'll be honest, I really don't think it was planned out.
Okay.
The initial thought when I gave Michael and I didn't give Michael a whole lot of a backstory on Molfen because it was based more off of, well, the idea that JJ, the MG, and I had that, hey, let's all play gnomes. We'll be a family unit
Right.
somehow. They had this idea of two of them, and I said, okay, well, I'm literally the old man of the group in terms of players. I said, okay, I can easily get into this sort of grandpa figure.
Yeah.
This old sort of sheltered person. Think of it midlife crisis, but this is someone who's been, wake up in the morning beside the wife, go to work, come home. The kids are going out and having fun. I haven't seen shit in my life. I'm going to take off and go with them for a little bit. Honey, you stay home. I'll be back. It's going to be an easy run. And then it was, okay, take care of the kids and, stuff starts happening. And it's literally when Moby ends up disappearing. And again, it's player-wise, when JJ had to step aside for a bit, it was, okay, well, this could be fun for the characters, sort of, what was my job, what's going on here. But then Michael and JJ took it a different direction completely. And it's like, okay, now this is just going to more screw with his head.
True.
And
Yeah.
the goal behind it up to that, when that happened was, whatever it takes to bring my family home.
Okay.
It was never really intended for that to be, head evil. Oh, wait, it's Raven Queen.
Yeah.
I've read enough books. I know who her enemy is. Well, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. I can't fight the Raven Queen. I need Orcus's help. And that's where that stemmed from, is I need allies in this. I know these people that I'm traveling with a little bit, but I'm not going to ask them to fight a god. You ask a god for that. And then Asmodeus got involved, and it's like, okay, well, now I just found out my family's lives are forfeited, or their eternal souls are. Let me
Okay.
sign away right away.
So you're a crazily, unraveling old man just trying to get his family back together. That's kind of sweet.
That's where it started.
That's good started.
Now that the shroud's on and things have changed, now his personality's changed.
He's getting
Yeah.
power.
As the players and as the viewers at home may know, when Molfen put on the shroud, it did change his alignment. He is now
Right.
neutral evil, which means that, again, I know we talk about a lot in off stream, and some of you are more familiar with the alignments than others. It isn't, a big F you to your party members. It is just, I'm going to do what I believe I should be doing. And that's it.
And you're
Yeah.
not disrupting the
Self-serving
other
philosophy.
players at the table. You're
Right,
not
it's-
a murderer with your
it's
players.
Using us.
And I feel like
Right.
that's the important part. Like we all have fun. We're all not.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
that the character of Molfen now is more self-driven, is more power-hungry now.
Yeah.
It's, again, and this has been said on stream, but only Ashlyn knows in terms of characters. Molfen's goal is eventually to destroy Asmodeus and replace him. and take over as a deity.
Yup.
Wow.
Didn't you tell Callista too? Because
No.
you're like, if
Well, it's,
Callista.
I said we were gonna. I said that I wanted to defeat him. Ashland's the only one I've told that I'm looking to replace.
Replace him. Yep.
Ashland.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
Ashland's the
I
only one who knows the
know.
whole plan.
Yes.
It's,
Gotcha.
And Callista knows. Again, Callista knows enough of it. She knows. Oh, we got to go kill Asmodeus.
Which
Callista thinks she knows
That's
why.
why.
I'll be honest. When
He'll be a merciful god.
the Shroud of Souls is an invention by
hmm
your dungeon master,
Crazy.
Mhm.
but it's not.
Insane invention.
It's not original. I
Okay.
took it from Neverwinter, the video game.
Oh.
Oh.
Mm.
I can't remember which arc it was, but they had to basically go and basically a Dragonborn had this thing called the Shroud of Souls. And you had to go fight the Dragonborn to get the Shroud of Souls because the Shroud of Souls could basically the Dragonborn wanted to use it to raise the 9 from Neverwinter, which is kind of like the if you remember Lord of the Rings, the ring wraiths.
hmm
It's kind of the same concept.
Oh.
So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna invent this shroud and put it in my game because I think that would be cool. And then I'll be honest, I was 100%. I didn't know what Matthew was gonna do with it once he possessed it.
You didn't think he would instantly put it on?
Well, he debated it. He did because he actually messaged me.
Okay.
And I could tell Matthew was a little conflicted about it. The
Okay.
key to it is, it changes your alignment. It changes a lot of things about you,
Yeah.
and you can never take it off. That's the
Yeah.
key.
Yeah.
And my big concern with it was player-based.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I knew
Hmm.
Wolfen identifying it would immediately go, okay, this is the type of power I need to complete my goal.
hmm
But at that point, even though we had been playing for X amount of time together, it was, they're still taking that step to being that sort of, and I'll call it the anti-hero.
Mhm.
It's that,
Mm.
that
Sure.
darker side of
Mm.
the coin.
Mm.
Still going along with the goal is, our paths are moving along the same goals right now. But that whole, is this going to throw a wrench in the dynamic of the players? I knew it would with the party. But that's the fun of it.
Yeah.
That's like
Yeah.
Kella's sister laying a kiss on Lachlan.
Oh.
It's
Yeah.
it's
yeah.
a drama.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Matthew,
That's the
and I'm
point.
gonna throw this right out there that if you're watching this stream right now, or if you're watching on YouTube, Matthew as a player plays the best character on this alignment that I have ever seen in any stream anywhere, or
Wow.
played with any.
Oh.
The way that he has done Molfen, despite all this that's going on, you guys need to watch him play this alignment, take notes, because the first thing that sticks out about Matthew is he was concerned about the players in the group first, not the characters, the players. He
Mhm.
said, will they be able to handle some of the crap that Molfen might do? And when we discussed
Yeah.
it, but we've been playing for a while, and I'm like, I think we're all
Yeah.
kind of comfortable with our play styles. I think we all understand, what's going on. And another thing is, Molfen doesn't play like a lot of people think, oh, I'm evil, so this is what I'm gonna
Yeah.
do. I'm gonna turn around and
Yeah.
just behead all
I
my
would
friends,
kill that guy.
and then
Yeah,
fireball that
Yeah,
innocent
that's-
village.
that
would be a
problem.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not how evil is portrayed in most of your movies.
Yeah, it's not how you become the
That,
BBEG.
that alignment is called chaotic asshole.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, like even
Evil is everyone becomes a chess piece.
Yeah.
Right.
if you
And that-
Yeah.
You're not really wrong, MG.
okay, evil folks, to be honest, if you just kill everyone Who's gonna serve you? Who's gonna worship you if
Yeah.
you become a deity? You know, I mean, it's like
all the ghosts.
it's that game mentality. I think this happens a lot with maybe like younger groups and younger players.
Teenagers.
They wanna win.
Murder hobo types. The trope, that kind of trope. But they immediately think, oh, this is evil. I'm just gonna go after every good person in the world and just slaughter them. Yeah,
really
and Chris
easy way to
in chat's chiming in, so you got to figure out your flavor of evil too. What flavor of evil works for your group? What flavor of evil works for the campaign? But I think Matthew, I would give you an award if I could.
Yeah.
For how well
Because if you think,
you portray Molfin in that alignment.
Yeah.
because if you think of evil, they're your next door neighbor that's actually Jeffrey Dahmer. It's not the one that stands out.
Yeah.
It's the one that sticks
They're
things out.
charming and they have bodies in their basement.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And they don't stick out. They blend in. They're very charming, but they have this darker side that society doesn't know about. It doesn't mean that they're going to harm their friends and family, but it means that they have this
Capacity.
thing inside of them. Exactly.
And you got to think what makes someone evil as well.
Yeah, where's the line?
Where's the line?
Most people are the hero of their own
Here's a
story,
better
you know?
Right.
Right.
The villain thinks they are right.
Or
Exactly.
the good guy. Yep.
Literally, evil is an opposition to your. It's something against your belief.
Right.
That's all it is.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
and that's one.
If your belief is you need to throw puppies into a blender, the person stopping you is evil to you.
right.
Now, to any sane person, and yes, I say that because before stream I held my puppy up and showed everybody.
I should have run my puppy.
So it's when you take it to an extreme like that, most people go, "Oh my god, that's psychotic. That's evil." But if you look at it from their mind point, they can see that as perfectly normal, and you're stopping them makes you the bad guy.
And psychotic doesn't mean evil.
Right.
It also,
That's fair.
yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah. Yeah.
So he could be perfectly evil without being psychotic. So
yeah. And,
Which currently Molfin is.
I
but
guess
if
that,
he's
like-
constantly
I did read
casting contact at outer planes, hey,
yeah.
then he might be both.
I kind of want to expand on that question is like for the players and
Philosophical.
also for the DM,
Mhm.
both alignment just in general with how you first started the character to 100 episodes later. Like, was there major your character that you didn't expect, or
That's
just in terms of story?
I
I mean,
know.
that's why I'm expanding on Molfin because his was an unexpected alignment change.
Shift. Yeah.
yeah.
Matthew,
I'm
do you want to
curious.
take any of that with the growth part of that question? Do you want to take
That's,
some of what you feel?
well, I think a lot of it is going to tie into a lot of what I'll call it the group dynamic.
Mhm.
Is as the group has gone on, and it's always sort of been. And again, I'll leave Ashlyn out of this a little bit, only because it's centered more on Diana and Callista. It's always been the tall versus the small. It's always been the gnomes and their secrets, or the and again, I'll use the phrase elves, but or the taller races and their things at the beginning. But again, after many come to Callista meetings, it seems that growth has finally hit that the party, in my opinion, has really sort of hit its stride with Callista's just basically accepted the fact now that Lachlan's going to do some shady shit.
He's getting better.
Molfin is probably going to do something stupid and potentially, horrendously wrong in her opinion, but it's for the greater good.
The greater good.
The greater good.
They're
The
good.
greater good.
No, I
Yeah.
just Shaun of the. No, it's not
Yeah,
Shaun of the Dead. It's Hot Fuzz.
Hot Fuzz.
Yeah, the greater good.
I as a dungeon master, as a DM, it can be challenging. I think depending on who your players are, to have an evil aligned character, it's probably less challenging to have them all evil, because then you can just assume that that's going to happen. I think it's just, I think Matthew and I were both worried about just player and group dynamic with the changing of alignment and everybody having different alignments at that point. But, to be honest, you're playing the alignments of your characters very well, and I don't even really have to bother with them that much. I don't use them that much. There was only a couple occasions.
Close to bordering
The garden?
evil? That's my question.
The garden, only you had to have good in your alignment to be able to enter the garden.
Yes.
Even if you were neutral, you were not allowed in. So that's where Callista got.
Yeah, but am I bordering like the darker side? Do I have to worry about alignment change soon?
You know what? I don't.
Am I okay so far?
As a dungeon master, I don't normally do the whole alignment shift unless something in the rules specifically says so.
Or your wolfen.
Okay.
So, for instance, I stole the alignment shift for the shroud from the hand and the eye of Vecna from the from the Dungeon Master Guide.
Makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he knew, he was aware when he identified that item that it was going to change his alignment. It was not going to be a surprise.
Right.
I wasn't going to be like, oh, boom.
Right.
Oh, surprise, your
By the
alignment
way,
changed.
yeah.
I'm not that kind of dungeon
Yeah.
master. I'm not going to do that to somebody. Now, if you tell me, hey, that last thing that I did last game, now that I think about it, that was pretty shitty. I think maybe Callista's alignment's changing. If we have if we have the communication about it, and I talk to you about it,
Right.
and you're okay with it,
Yeah.
that I think that's a player in a dungeon master decision to make together, not just in the past.
I love that.
In former,
No, I agree.
In former Dungeons and Dragons, I think in like first edition, like there were things that you would do and it would instantly change your alignment.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the DM would just tell you your alignment's evil now. Like you
Chaotic evil now. You
Yeah.
have to kill your whole party.
That's it. So I think as long as you and your players communicate with one another and understand, and I think a lot of times it's going to come from the player, and then the dungeon master can respond, and then you guys can have a good conversation about it and say, come to a consensus, you know. The other players don't necessarily have to be involved with that, as long as I think you're good with it, and as long as you don't feel like it will make anyone at the table uncomfortable. I think that's the key, is making sure that, you know, everybody understands. And you guys are so good at this, like, we're all friends, so you guys understand that you want to make an enjoyable game for everybody else. So I really haven't had to deal with that. Other DMs might have to. Other groups might, but I didn't. So, but yeah, Matthew was aware though.
Yeah. What about you? Yeah. What about like for Lachlan, Diana, or Ashlyn?
For what? Like growth?
For,
character growth?
Yeah, character growth. Like how you first envisioned Diana versus now.
She's changed so much from like what I first thought the character was going to be to what she ended up being. She's like not even anywhere close. Like when I first started playing, when I first drafted Diana, like this is just like drafts, I thought that she was gonna be like some like good-hearted person, but that she was gonna be like more quiet, more reserved, more Callista in nature. And then she became the baby somehow. I don't know how, but she became baby. And then she evolved from baby to like
warrior goddess
chaos, like weird demigoddess that's like full of chaos. So like she just changed so much right before my eyes, and sometimes I'm like, did I do that as Diana or did I do that as Zos just because I thought it would be funny? Like sometimes I think about that when I'm playing. I'm like, am I being myself or am I being Diana? Am I being out of character for her?
They bleed together.
Keeping her in character is a really hard thing for me to do. I think because I want to play a bunch of different types of characters. Like I want to play a bard, I want to play a rogue, I want to play an evil character. So then I just end up mishmashing everything into Diana.
But if you think about it though, are we much different though in real life though? I mean,
yeah, that's kind of like how people are.
I mean, we shift on a whim sometimes all the time. I mean, and
Yep,
what
depending
we're
on
doing,
mood.
depending on our mood, depending on our situation, depending on what's going on around us. And
Yep.
so you guys,
I think she's adapted really well.
welcome to being an adventurer.
Yeah.
That's-
For some shit, you're allowed to like change your personality at a whim.
True.
Yes.
True.
I don't think
True.
your alignment's changed from good or anything.
No.
I think your
Diana's?
personality's changed.
Good for her. I know she has it. Yeah.
I just see personality growth. I don't see.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see a shift at all.
And I personally like
She's
when I
still
first created
pure.
Diana. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was just saying she's still pure. Like
Okay.
she's still
Yeah.
at the core.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I was gonna say that when I first made Diana, I had just finished watching the Wonder Woman movie because it had just come out,
Aw.
and
Yeah.
I was like, I'm going to make her like Wonder Woman, and I don't
That's
know.
cool.
Yeah. And also, I really like
I feel that.
Molfin's development because Molfin's development and Diana's development, I think, is really entertaining to watch go together because it's like they should be polar opposites. Like the whole thing about the Shroud making him more power hungry. I don't think Diana's caught on to that yet. I think Diana still thinks that he's just doing everything for family, and that's why she excuses
Well,
it.
that's what he wants people to think.
Yeah, that's true. So
That
Diana's
he's muted.
playing in the game.
But also, everybody Diana talks to keeps trying to tell her. And
Yeah.
she keeps on saying, no, he's my friend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good inside.
That's why I love
I
her.
believe in him.
Diana
That's why
is
I love
loyal.
her.
Yeah, Diana is loyal.
Mhm.
She's very loyal.
I love her.
But yeah, that's
He's
how
loyal
Diana
to
has
Little Mater
changed.
until Molfin ascends.
Well, you're Lord of the Hell. She's praying to heaven. You guys can have your own thing.
Yeah, we can, as long as you're
Go
not
for
like,
coffee.
Yeah.
we're gonna meet up for brunch
Wow.
after Diana, takes over and like I don't know, becomes Ilmater's right hand, and you take over Hell.
Yeah,
then
this
they'll
is
just get
gonna
together
make-
for brunch
So,
sometime.
so you're
discuss the
Ilmater's right
goings-on.
hand. I'm Vecna's
Yeah.
left hand.
Yeah,
Callisto's the
that's how that's gonna
throne.
work.
Yeah.
Callisto's on the throne.
Lachlan, what do you think Ashlyn and Lachlan would do, MG? Like, they're all going to gods right now. Where do we fall?
Just go to some bar and fight people. Like,
Yeah, okay.
Live normal lives.
we're pretty
How
easy to
have your
please.
guys' characters changed and evolved?
I think if Ashlyn could change, she'd be lawful chaotic. Which should be a thing. Because she's lawful, like, she has her own standards and guidelines of what's good and what's
I
bad.
would love lawful
But
chaotic.
she
That
is
is actually
chaotic because she's very unpredictable
Mhm.
with what she does as well.
Mm.
Takes her chaotic traditions seriously. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like, she's very
That
unpredictable
should be in
about how she
alignment,
gets
honestly.
there, but she's very
Mhm.
true to this is good, this is bad. You know?
Mm.
Yeah.
But is it... See, lawful specifically targets, like... So, for instance, when Ashlyn was at the funeral,
Oh, I wouldn't punch that guy.
A lawful
if you were
person
a
wouldn't-
lawful person would not have struck a noble
Kicked a-
person at a funeral in Waterdeep.
But I challenge you because I have my
But
own
if she's
set of
lawful
laws.
chaotic,
Yeah.
yeah, if she's lawful chaotic,
If I'm my own
by
student
law, she
with
has to punch
laws.
him.
Yes.
Exactly. Because he insulted my friend, so I had to.
She's lawful,
Ugh.
lawful in that she has a book
it's
of
the
her
law.
own laws. And
Yeah.
She goes by.
Ferguson wrote the laws.
Yeah. Ferguson probably did write all the laws, actually.
Sarah, do you think that Ashlyn will ever learn about Ferguson? And if she does, what's gonna happen?
Oh.
Okay, she will only learn if someone else tells her. So that's the only way she's gonna learn. And, it will utterly devastate her.
Oh my god!
She will feel...
She must.
She will feel the fabric of reality being torn asunder if someone reveals to her the truth about Ferguson.
We must protect
protect her.
Ashlyn at
Yeah.
all costs. This is the end game protection.
I ready in
mode.
action to shoot anyone that opens their mouth.
I like how when Sarissa almost gave it away, and you guys were all like,
I was white knuckling. Yeah.
yeah, that was,
Yeah.
and she's just looking at you like, oh, okay.
And I was like, I've never killed in cold blood before, but I will.
That was crazy. I think, man, gee, I almost got all of your questions answered. There was one.
Yeah, I
there
think
was,
you got the.
There was one you put on here. Who was Taz working for? I cannot answer
Yeah.
that right now.
Ah!
Because you never know. That's still an open arc
God.
there.
That whole thing about like, I
game.
think that we fuegoed too early.
Yeah.
You've sort of implied that we
Wait.
fuegoed too early.
Yeah.
She was kind of hoping that you would be
It happens to all
intelligent
guys,
enough
MG.
to know that she was.
Well, that was her
Hell yeah.
mistake.
You need inspiration for that.
Yes.
Holy shit.
Sarah gets real life DM
Can we get the
inspiration.
net?
You get,
I'm sorry.
when you wake up in the morning, you just have a nat 20 for your day, Sarah. You just have a nat 20 for your day.
Wow, that was great. That was so quick, Sarah. Holy shit.
It was kind of a test for you, Lachlan.
Yeah.
In the meantime, too, like she was trying to see exactly what you would do with the power that she gave you. She was kind of hoping that you would figure out a way to lure both beholders together, and then fuego. To
And like, what kind of person wants to kill two beholders? That's the.
yes.
That's pretty powerful, yeah.
So, you never know. You might find out who she works for going on in Kindred lists coming up here in the.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
There was another question you put down here. Early on, we skipped an opportunity to go find a ship that would sail us down the shore. Later, we found the wreckage of the ship near the Kraken Society ship. What would have happened if we had gone on that ship way back when? Really? You would have built relationships with the captain and the crew? And it would have created a kind of another moment of maybe some tears being shed later on in the adventure.
Oh, shit.
Damn.
Because you would have spent some time on that boat, and it would have given you another heartstring to pull on for your dungeon master.
Oh, great.
It doesn't necessarily say in the module that boat sinks in the Kraken Society. I made that in my game because there wasn't enough, like, there's no, it just says, like, you find the boat in, like, 1d4 or something days. To me, that's kind of boring. I wanted there to be something environmental or something that you guys would come across or some other things that were happening. So I was like, you know what? Way back when, and I flipped back in the pages and I found there was actually other ships that you could have taken too.
Yeah.
That was just the one NPC that you talked to that pointed you to that boat. There were other boats available. But I picked that boat out and I'm like, yeah, you know what? That'd kind of be cool. I'll throw that in there.
I'm glad I caught that. That's awesome.
That was, yeah, you caught that.
Cool.
Really,
catch.
yeah, that was a good catch. Yeah.
Yeah.
But basically, that captain that you guys pulled up from the water, you guys would have known her, and you guys would have gotten a chance to talk to her and learn about her.
Damn.
And, but you went a different route. Was Harry Potter the inspiration for the scene of Cruella's lair that the party had to drink that evil liquid? 100% yes.
Oh.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Well, that scene
Hell
where, Dumbledore has to drink that.
Dumbledore, yeah.
Here's what I didn't intend. I thought one person was going to drink it.
Oh.
And it would almost kill almost kill them. Like the next to bottom line level of exhaustion it was going to take you to.
Oh.
So the next one would have been death. So basically you'd have an incapacitated person that you would have to protect while you're fighting these other creatures that are swarming around you. So one party member was going to be basically null and void, while the rest of you had to protect them while this was all taking place.
Right.
So the fact that other people started swooping in and like,
yeah, you guys
sharing
decided,
in the
hey, we're gonna
misery.
share the misery, and I'm like, wait, I didn't prepare for this.
Yep.
That made the party stronger. Oh my gosh!
That made you guys stronger. That decision helped you guys a lot, even though you guys were all like taking like
Look
a
at
point of
friendship.
exhaustion or 2 points
Yep.
of exhaustion.
Yeah.
You guys,
Yeah.
because I originally I'm like, Molfin's gonna go up to that and he's gonna start drinking that liquid. I know he is. I just have this feeling in my mind that that's what's going to happen, and he's going to keep on drinking until somebody stops him, or this shroud becomes visible, and then the stairs that led down become visible. But that lets all these like demons come, or these terrible creatures loose. So basically, Molfen was going to be laying there incapacitated, 5 levels of exhaustion, unable to do anything, and you guys were going to have to protect him.
Shit.
But you didn't do it that way. Ashlyn storms in.
Nope.
She's like, I'm going to drink. And takes a sip. And then somebody else comes in. Nope, move over, and grabs the conch or whatever the shell was and drinks. Yeah, but that
Was it Diana? Like
Yeah.
me and Lachlan were like, "What do you?"
Yeah, we were like, what are you guys doing? Stop.
Because
Don't
we
drink
didn't
that.
know what
I
it
think
was
Molfen
yet.
took 3 levels, I took 2 levels, and Diana took 1 level or something.
Took one, yeah.
But all I remember
like
from
that,
that, and
yeah.
I apologize, I had to disappear for a second.
it's all good.
All I remember from that is running around with all of you having ant heads.
Oh yeah,
you
you
started-
Yeah,
started.
you started hallucinating.
Oh yeah.
That's cool. Yeah,
Can I just say, what is that? The 3rd or 4th time you've had Molfen hallucinating?
Oh yeah. It's great. I love
Zazu.
Molfen.
We like
yeah,
to have
Zazu. We had
Oh,
Zazu
yeah,
jump
yeah.
in there. Yeah, and I got some of those things from, if you look in the DMG, there's a thing that says madness, and there's like temporary
Yes.
madness. I got some things from the madness table. So like,
Out of the Abyss is familiar with that.
yeah, not only do you take exhaustion,
Yeah.
but you can also take levels of those different effects of madness, and that's what Molfen had when he was drinking all that stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's why he saw you all as insects, basically.
Oh, okay.
There is one thing that I wanted to ask all of you, because we're getting kind of late here, and I wanted to ask this. If you could go back and do one thing differently, what would it be?
It's easy.
That's easy for you, Matthew?
Yep.
What's that?
And this is, to be blunt, it's a little metagamey, but the problem is, for the story it made sense, but looking back, in the caves, fighting Hark,
Uh-huh.
leveling up and taking that 1 level of rogue.
Oh,
Mm.
yeah,
Oh,
true. Like
okay.
on your character advancement. Yeah.
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 You didn't.
Going back, I would not do that. I would have stayed straight wizard.
Yeah.
Mhm. True.
Mm.
I.
I would have not gone through that one door. I'll tell you what. Am I the one that picked the lock? Like,
Yeah,
I was
think
waiting
you,
for
I think
that.
you did. I can't
Yeah.
remember 100% if even if
You
it was
did.
locked. But,
I would have
yeah.
pretended that the lock, that the key broke, or that the lockpick broke.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Wait, which door is this now?
the infernal door.
The one that
In-
Nightstone
Infernal
at the very
door.
beginning.
Nightstone. Learn how to read infernal.
yeah. Taking that class in
In infernal.
Waterdeep Streets High
Yeah.
School. Yeah.
How to speak devil.
What about the?
Hmm.
what
Waited
about
for
the lady
Diana
I
that
to
probably
show up?
would. I probably would have killed
I'm-
Kella a lot earlier.
Oh, I would have brought her back.
I've tried. Damn it, that's one thing I've tried.
Calista tried to take care of that woman like early on.
Yeah.
Get rid of her.
Can I just toss out all these
I
people?
got
I would have killed so and so. I tried to kill so and so, and yet I'm the evil one. I'm
Yeah.
just saying.
Keep
So taking kill.
escaping.
Zoss, do you have anything that you would do differently? That you can think of that?
I don't want to say that I never would have kissed Zulkin, because I feel like that was such an integral part of Diana's story, and
Mhm.
it like really was very important, and it also gave birth to a very amazing plot,
Hmm.
and I would never want to undo that.
Yeah, true.
So I wouldn't change that. That's like the only thing I can really think of, like, oh, if Diana has one regret that she would want to go back and change.
Uh-huh.
Then like for Diana, that's definitely a regret. But for me as a
Yeah.
player, I would never want to change that.
Right.
Like that was really great.
True.
Diana would love to. I don't.
Right.
Yeah.
Kristy's still
it.
pondering. He's.
Mhm.
Yeah,
It's a
I'm
deep
trying to
thought.
think what
I mean, if
it
you-
is, because like if honestly, I don't think I would, and I'm not sure Callista would either, except for maybe find a way to stop Moby from leaving.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That would be Callista's, but as me as a player, signing the contract without consulting the group, like Callista doesn't feel good about that.
Yeah.
But I think
She
it was the
owed one.
best thing that it could have been for her character in that, like, it made the most sense that she
Yeah.
wouldn't hesitate if she was getting all of that. And I wrote, and it was a good persuasion. Like, I don't think I would change anything
Okay.
as
Yeah.
a player.
Cool.
No, my
But
player.
as in character,
Mm.
Callista's biggest regret is losing track of Moby and him disappearing.
Mhm. True. That sounds good. Yeah. That's why I have to give you some questions that get the gears turning, you know, just to let you think about all those moments that you guys
One.
had.
Also has the regret of Anna, but like
Mm.
Moby was the thing that got everything turning forward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For all of us.
Moby was such a huge part of
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's
Again,
her
if we're going-
regret
if you're
in
going
character.
character. Well,
I mean, if you think about it,
see, and that's a hard part now. It's like I think of that and I'm going, yeah, you got a good point, Kristy, that Molfen would have.
Not shouted out Orcus's name as a challenge after finding out.
Right,
For
but,
one thing.
but here's the catch now. We're asking now, would we go back and change?
Yeah.
Molfen now would not.
That's true.
Molfen
Drunk on the
pre-Shroud would agree wholeheartedly with Callista and say, yes, go back and never lose track of him.
Right.
But now, Molfen's got schemes on schemes on schemes. The goal is still, yes, destroy her, you know, end up with a friend who's a god, get Moby home.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, become a god in myself. But yeah, that's what we're doing.
yeah, because if you guys think about it, when this campaign started, Moby was kind of like the glue. You guys were all
He had brought
all your stories were kind of centered around his when you guys met.
Mhm.
And when you remove that from the group, there's that tension that it causes with everybody else, you know. It made for a great story, though. It's making
It
for a
did.
great story. There's still more.
I like
there's still
how
more to tell.
Ashlyn- I like how Ashlyn is literally the key to Team Small and Team Tall because she is an elf, but she still thinks that Molfen's her uncle.
yeah, true,
So-
true.
Somehow
She's
she's
the
peacemaker. Yeah.
That is cool.
She is the bridge.
100%.
Here's a question MG had. Did we miss any truly badass magic items?
Oh, yeah.
I almost don't want to know. Oh.
Yeah.
I mean, there are obviously there are other magic items that you can get in the game. The cool thing I like about the module is it doesn't set in stone magic items a lot of the times.
Oh,
Like,
it's like roll in table F?
It'll be like roll on
Oh,
table
cool.
F. You find 3 magic items from table G and maybe 1 from table H in this treasure chest.
Ooh.
So you can roll randomly. You can choose if you want to as a dungeon master. If you want to choose, like if you know,
Plant
like
something.
yeah, you can plant things. I like I did, obviously. The Hand of Vecna is not in the module. So, that was planted. The Oath Bow is not in the module because you guys found that on a side quest.
Thank you.
Yeah, you know, a lot of your magic items you guys found because you were going after pretty high level epic people probably before you were high enough level to actually like supposed to
Handle
go
them.
that way, you know, but you
Yeah.
did, and you
Yeah.
made it. And I told myself, if they do this, if they're successful, I'm gonna reward them handsomely for it because it's a challenge and it makes sense. A lich who's been around for years and years and years and years is gonna have amassed a horde. A dragon that's been around for years and years and years and years
Yeah.
is
yeah.
gonna have an amassed horde. It just makes sense. As far as like, I always do story over. To me, the story trumps everything else. So when it comes to like even game mechanics, some might say, "Whoa, your players have way too many magic items," or "Your players are way too rich." Yeah, maybe they are, but that's my game, so that's the way I'm gonna roll with it, and I can handle
You better
it.
We
tell
fight-
them like
That's it.
Yeah, you can handle it.
I mean, well, that's the thing. Like,
Yeah.
You're like, come at me, bro.
as a dungeon master, you get to decide when it comes to like rewards. You know, you guys get to reward your players.
Yeah.
When you guys play as dungeon masters, you get to reward your players. And I mean, players get excited when you reward them with stuff. I mean, you guys get
Yeah.
when you it doesn't matter who you are. You get that first big chunk of change that you find from the goblins that,
Hell
from
yeah.
Hark. You raid his.
Oh, in that cave with the manta
Yeah,
ray
yeah,
smoke,
you're
the
just-
silver daggers.
It's like,
and
yeah,
stuff.
look what I got.
dark-
Yeah.
Yep.
And you
Yeah.
go to work on Monday and tell your buddies about it. You know, it's like,
Yeah.
it's like you know,
Look at this orc. Look at this ogre I floated once.
that's it.
And cast darkness on an arrow or
Yeah,
whatever.
that's it.
But that was some fun.
Oh, yeah, that was fun.
That was fun.
Oh.
Lots of fun. But yeah, as far as magic items, you didn't miss. Honestly, like you guys got most of like big time magic items that are in the adventure. I mean, Callista, technically, you're not supposed to get the throne.
Oopsie.
But story situation to me trumped everything else, and the way that you came through with that persuasion was pretty good. So
Yeah.
as a
It was
dungeon
solid.
master, if you could do a good job role playing too, I'm gonna reward you with things of that
Yeah.
nature too.
Aw.
So yeah, the throne is pretty powerful.
+4 rascal scooter.
Yeah. I mean, you guys found some pretty cool magic items.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes they got rolled up. I'll be honest, most of the time I rolled them up random because I don't even know all the magic items that are in the book.
Yeah.
So when I roll them random, I'm like, huh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And I like to throw that in there because it might be a magic item you've never heard of either. So
Right.
it might be fun to
Yeah.
figure out a creative, even if it's something you can't use.
Yeah.
You could give it to an NPC friend to use. You could sell it. You know,
Yeah.
find somebody who has something you want and make a purchase,
Trade.
trade.
True.
So lots of types of things you guys can do with your rewards. So that, and I wanted to put other kinds of rewards like your titles that you guys got from Sarvin.
Yes.
Oh, this is
King
so
of the Frozen
sad.
Oh my
Forest.
god.
So I was trying to think of other ways, and that to me, like, that to me even is worth more than, you know, all the gold in the world, you know.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't think
The
that-
fields.
Whoa! We got a raid.
Oh.
Oh,
The Hack
damn.
Studio is raiding with a party of 5.
Heck
Welcome,
yeah.
guys.
Hey.
Whoa.
We're doing a little bit of a wrap up of Storm King's Thunder. We're doing a kind of behind the Dungeon Master screen where we grill each other with lots of questions about the module and other things that have been going on in our story thus far before we transition over to the rest of the story as they get ready to move on from Storm King's Thunder onto the rest of the campaign. So thank you guys so much for the raid. You guys are awesome.
Oh, pizza.
Oh yeah. You know what? They want to order. Somebody wants to order a big pizza with pepperoni. Can somebody do that? Let's get some pizza on in this joint. I need some pizza.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm hungry.
How would that even happen? Oh.
Oh, there it is.
Oh.
There's the pizza.
There it is. Oh, there it is, guys. The pizza has been delivered.
Pizza has been delivered. We got it.
And it even has pepperoni on it. There you go, guys.
Nice.
Oh.
MG makes it happen again.
My entire life has been building up to this moment.
God damn it.
Yes. Thank you, Raid. You come and raid and you get pizza. That's awesome. So I think I've gone through pretty much all of MG's questions. Does anybody have
Yeah.
any other questions? I mean, we're running out of time for tonight. Probably have only about 10 or 15 minutes left. If there's any other questions that you guys feel like we need to go on, if it's module based or not, because we've kind of been going all over the place.
Yeah.
Half of it was about the book. Yeah.
Yeah, half of it was about the book.
Half of our 100 episodes was on book 2, so it makes sense.
Yeah.
That's it. It
True,
kind
true.
of works for us. Yeah, makes sense.
I'm trying to think.
Going through my notes. Yep.
if there's anything else that you guys want to ask.
No, I'm good.
Would we have been able to, had we tried to stay, would Slarkrethel have stayed and fought us? Could we have killed the Kraken?
Yeah.
The book specifically states that the Kraken really doesn't care about you guys.
Oh.
The Kraken is
How rude.
The Kraken is trying to. Hey, thank you guys so much for the follow. We appreciate it. I missed the name.
Neverlander,
Neverlander
427.
No, thank you so much for the follow. We do appreciate it. The Kraken encounter is basically the Kraken comes and the Kraken takes down the Morkoth. That's the goal of the Kraken, is to take the ship down. And he is the Kraken. Hey, thanks again for another follow. We appreciate
Wonderlander.
Wonderlander, appreciate that. We got
Nice.
Neverlander and Wonderlander. Awesome. And another follow. Here they come. Thank you guys. We do appreciate it.
Gunstar Carrot.
The Kraken comes up basically in the module, takes down the boat, and tries to kill King Hecaton.
Oh.
So if you guys would not have got King Hecaton out of those chains within an hour when you arrive at the ship, the Kraken arrives, takes the whole ship down, and drags King Hecaton down with it.
Oh, that would have.
Can he?
Yes,
That would have been different.
he can die in this adventure. If you let the Kraken win, he kills the king, and then Sarissa becomes the new, basically, queen of the Storm
Oh,
Giants.
okay.
Oh, we didn't have an agreement with her about any thrones.
No.
Nope, we did not.
So
Well, technically, when we were saving him, we didn't have an agreement with him either. He was comatose.
That's true. It's
Yeah.
true.
But
Yeah.
And I want to say Diana's idea to get him out of the chains was brilliant and genius.
Yeah, that's yeah.
Yes.
That was another moment. You know, Zos surprised me a lot during this campaign.
Inflict
Just-
wounds on that aboleth? Yeah.
I'm not saying that she's not capable of thinking of awesome ideas like that. I'm thinking she's just thinking of things that I never even imagined. Like,
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
and thinking about creative ways to use what she can do
Yeah. Outside the box.
outside the box, and that
Yeah.
to me was that
Mhm.
those are the moments that stick out in my mind.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Bam fit out of the
Thank you
chains.
very
man.
much.
I mean, even in combat, the inflict wounds on the aboleth
Mm-hmm.
doing 70-some points of damage to it.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Hey guys, you know I know
also
the spell.
infected myself.
I'm like, crap, this thing's almost dead. So it was impressive.
Thanks.
Um,
You guys are all awesome.
So those DMs that are still watching, the time of this module, I would say we ran this thing for over, what was it, like 2 years and almost 6 months?
Yeah.
That's
thanks for that.
Yeah.
Was it about that,
Wow.
or was it 2
I
years
think
and
you're
6
right.
months on the nose?
Well, it's
Was
No,
it
'cause
July
it's-
or
Be
August?
It's
end
over
of
2
July. It'd be
years.
August, September, October, November, December, January. It'd
5
be like
months.
it'd be like, well, no, we ended
Almost
we
6.
ended last month, right? So it'd be 6 months. 2.5 years. It took us to get through this module. Now, keep in mind, we spent probably about half that time outside of the book doing
Yeah.
backstory stuff, side quests, battling other terrible creatures. So if you're running the module, I ran it for another group, and we are just finishing up. They're on their last session. Now, granted, we don't meet every week. And they're the type of person that when they play a video game, when they finish it, they want it to say 100%.
Oh.
We finished
So,
every side quest.
They're the type of group that they wanted to go see every giant lord. You guys didn't do that. They
Oh,
did.
No.
Wait a
Nope.
minute. How did we
Um,
not? We got hill giants, fire giants, storm giants.
We didn't meet any stone giants, did
You
we?
didn't do the stone giants, and you didn't do the frost giants.
Oh yeah.
There
Ah.
were still 2 other chapters that you didn't do, but the way the module's written, you don't have to. As soon as you get a conch, you can move the story forward if you choose.
How about that? Yeah.
Okay, we're going back. We killed the dragon. We dealt with this. Let's go kill 2 more giant lords.
Oh,
Sure.
awesome.
But
They're peaceful now. Didn't we bring unity to them?
Yes.
yeah, the warning's fixed.
Grenades
we can go
fixed. We
start
don't
a
need to
war.
kill them.
Ordning's fixed. It doesn't mean that it changes their alignment back to, oh, now we're going to be nice to each other all of a sudden. It
As
might
long as they stop raiding the little people.
It might keep them held in line a little bit tighter and knit, but you never know. You might see a giant every once in a while doing risky things.
Just
shady
smack them
things.
down.
Hey,
Tell 'em to stop.
Neverlander, you're in the second year of your campaign. Awesome. That's great.
Whoa, that's pretty good.
That's cool. I tell you what, most campaigns, if you can get past the first 2 months, you're doing a good job. Because
Yeah, you're already ahead.
I've been in a lot that just kind of fall apart. But
Yeah.
but yeah, that's pretty much all about the Kraken. I mean, by all means, you can stay and fight it, but you'll be staying and fighting it underwater.
I
You
mean,
can
we have
cast that.
That's
breathing.
okay. Our
Water
druid can
breathing.
cast water breathing.
Yeah, because
But then,
which
like,
she already
stuff
did
doesn't work.
before we arrived.
Water walk.
because
I think my bows don't work underwater properly.
It's got
Yeah, they
really
don't.
long
yeah,
arms.
you
so
have
they'll come
limited
up.
use of weapons
Yeah.
underwater.
Yeah.
True.
So you just
Fire spells don't do much down there.
Mhm.
Because I've been doing some salt marsh where it's like half the game is underwater, and you learn quickly about.
So if you play fast, and your group is like, if you're just playing with a group maybe at a game store or something like that, and you're just basically just sticking to the story, or you're doing Adventures League or something like that, you could probably get it done in a year. I think.
Yeah.
Maybe a year and a half.
Yeah.
Depending on what you're doing. Depends on, once again, like we talked earlier, your group dynamic, your dungeon master,
Rift. Yeah.
whatever else you would do. So that's probably my key there with that. And I think that's all I really had on my list, stuff that I wanted to hit. I do want to do one thing before we call it a night, though. I want to reveal, I'm going to reveal this to our Twitch friends out there, our new art. First of all, I'm going to put our new logo up so you guys can see the Kindred Lists logo that we've got. I'm going to try to get it on the screen so you guys can see it a little bit better. This is the new logo for our campaign going forward. We are going to be playing the same characters starting here now at level 13. This group wants to go to 20, so we're going to keep on going. We're just going to continue on the story with these characters and see how their story progresses. They've got a list of people that they want to visit. And they have... Visit, yes, that's right. They have business that they would like to talk to others, or to conclude with some other talk, do some talking.
We have lots of talking.
Talking with our
do.
fists.
And
We're gonna make these people an offer they cannot refuse.
Yeah,
It may
exactly.
involve some fireballs and some other incendiary devices.
So I'm really excited about this because now we're going to all those exciting moments and those sweet spot moments where we were just coming up with stuff off the top of our heads. We're going to get to dive back into more of that here coming up soon. So it's going to be fun. Also, I wanted to show the awesome new character art that Kristy has done for us.
Yeah.
She has basically taken our character art, our characters that you see on the screen there that keep scrolling off to the left-hand side of our map there. This is the Kindred Lists character art. It should be popping up here soon.
Okay.
Is it there? Is it in the frame? Okay, guys, because my
It's a little shifted to the left side, but
Okay.
you can see everybody.
Once it pops up on my screen here, I'll be able to move it over a little bit. That's the only thing I don't like about having your cams at the top on Roll20 is every time I hit that page toolbar tab at the top,
Okay.
it covers up your faces.
That's true.
I switched my cams to the top of my monitor, so my chin was actually up a little bit higher, so I wasn't like very down like this the whole time. So that's the only thing I don't like about that. Okay, I see how it shifted a little bit. I'll zoom in a little bit so people can see a little bit closer to some of these characters because they're just amazing.
Yes. Glorious.
I love all the the lighting effects on them too.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Like the glow of Callista's hands are fire hands, like doing that.
Thank you.
Oh gosh.
Oh, my staff is flashy behind Lachlan.
Yeah, I had to cover it up to fit Lachlan in there, but I tried to make it so a
Yeah.
little bit was kind of poking out there.
Yeah.
Because I like that too. Diana's armor looks amazing.
Yes.
Yep.
I love that.
Yay!
Chris, you did such a good job.
Yes.
You really did.
Thanks, babies.
Molfin's spellbook.
Just
he's
really to
got
do it,
all his
honestly.
Oh, it's
details
like a
on that.
grimoire. Yeah.
He's ready.
She even did spider webs on Lachlan's spider crawl gloves.
Yeah.
they are there. Yep.
Yeah, he's
Yep,
got the spider.
and-
Yeah,
spider
from the-
webs.
You each for the 7 snakes, they and python on their clothing. If you zoom in, I don't know if you can see it on Ashland's, but you can see it on Lachlan's.
Yeah, I can see it on long
Ashland's is underneath the
It's
writing.
underneath the writing.
Oh, okay.
Sweet.
Oh, yeah.
That is awesome.
Cool.
So we are super excited. We are going to have episode 1 of Kindred Lists on Friday, March the 13th. Friday the 13th. So in 2 weeks, we will be kicking off episode 1, where this group will have to decide, because they got a lot to decide on. They've got a letter from Ashland's monastery. They've got a message that was sent to Callista. Diana has got this, her mentor apparently been hoarding up the hand of Vecna for a while and has been doing some shady stuff. Lachlan still got these connections to Waterdeep with all his friends and family and group that he's got there. And then Molfin, at least Ashland knows what Molfin's got going on.
Hey, Molfin has a very important meeting with some people in Muskin that apparently he can't tell Diana about because he's going to kill them if she's going to kill him if she sees him. So
We'll work that out.
So this is going to be truly amazing. We hope that you'll join us on March 13th for episode 1 at 8 p.m. And you'll be able to subscribe to us on YouTube as well, because we'll put all the back episodes onto our YouTube channel, so that way you guys will be able to catch the action. We hope you enjoyed this recap of and little Q&A fireside chat of Storm King's Thunder. I know we weren't in Storm King's Thunder the whole time, but like we said, we like to go out of book a little bit. But I recommend it. I do recommend it. I feel like it's a great adventure. I think it's decent for new dungeon masters as well. There is some prep work that you have to do behind the scenes, but as a dungeon master taking the seat and doing this a lot, I know that there's not going to be a full adventure depending on your players where you can just read it straight out verbatim from the book and run it. So you're going to have to do a little bit of work, but you know what? I think whenever you get that response from your players and how much fun that they're having, it makes it 100% worth it every single time. So,
Well, you have to have a good DM, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
We kind of lucked out that way.
We're the
Yeah.
lucky ones, Michael.
we are very lucky.
yeah.
I mean, honestly though, with you guys, I don't have to. There's some days I don't even have to do any work. Like I was telling you earlier, Kristy, that part where you like,
Yeah.
you basically told the story for me, and then I could just go, hey, okay, I'm gonna check out. I'm gonna go home. I'm done. It was
damn it.
fantastic. That's why you'll hear me sometimes whenever you guys say I'm gonna do this, and I go, "That's fantastic,"
Because he just connected.
because you
some of the
just
dots
did
for you.
something for me that I did not have to do. And anytime you guys, I was like, that's great.
So now we want somebody out there watching to go back and watch all of our other episodes and find out how many times he said, "That's fantastic."
That's fantastic.
That means
Yeah.
we did something that
Because he
we shouldn't
said that a
have done.
lot.
Yes, he has.
I said it a
Oh.
lot.
Yeah.
He
I'm really
said that a
down.
lot.
Yeah.
It could
Now
even,
that I think
it
about
could even be a
I'm
point where
worried.
I want a fight to break out, and somebody's like, "I cast Fireball." Fantastic, thank you. But it's fun. I do enjoy it. I enjoy you guys as just friends and players, and thank you for sticking with me for all this time. I mean, gosh, 2.5 years and we're still going strong, and
Thanks
Hey.
for picking me.
Oh,
Thanks
you're
for
good. Thanks for
inviting me.
Yeah.
Thanks
Yeah.
for wanting to be a
I had to
part of
interview
this.
like 5 times.
You guys.
There was that one episode that that interview MG had to do, and put on the deep V.
yeah. That was the tough one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
MG, there's gonna be a moment where we gotta cosplay our characters, and you're gonna have to bust out that shirt. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Oh my god, I'm gonna have to make armor. I'm gonna have to
I'm
make
not
a
wearing-
piece.
Ashland's shirt.
But
I'm
look
sorry.
at Ashland's yitties.
It's a little bit revealing there.
I'm just saying.
Well, nice part is if you keep your camera where it is, no one will ever know.
It's true.
That's it.
It's true.
Yeah,
True.
it doesn't have to be exactly that. You can take liberties. These are creative liberties. I don't
Oh,
know. I
no, I
asked you
think
guys
it's-
what you wanted,
I
and you
think
didn't
it's
help.
No, they're
fantastic. They are
beautiful.
perfect. I wouldn't
They're
change a
beautiful.
thing. I love them.
Nope. They're all.
Now,
Diana
now
is
I gotta make
perfect.
some new tokens with the new character art, so I'm gonna be doing that this week.
Ooh,
So-
yay.
yeah, get you guys some
Yeah.
tokens made. So we're gonna go ahead and call this a night. Make sure you tune in. Next weekend, next Friday, we are doing a stream. It's gonna be our Shadowrun stream. So we're gonna be
Yay.
stepping back into, if you're interested in cyberpunk fantasy, we're gonna step into that Shadowrun RPG, which has been a lot of fun. I've really enjoyed it, and I'm interested to see how the next session next week goes, considering what happened last time the group was together. So it's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
Yep.
So until next time, folks, I don't really have too much clever to say tonight, other than don't forget to add that proficiency bonus. And we will see you guys
Oh, I love you
next
guys.
time. Love you guys. Have a good
Love
night.
you, Bob.
Love you guys.